Hey, Mickey, you
can do it, Rock.
It's Chris, baby.
It's the alternate universe where it was a cracker company.
Welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you. From listeners like you. Huh?
That went all over the place.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I was committing to. Yeah,
yeah, your energy is so I could go in so many directions.
It's been a good day. I don't know.
I can tell.
Lots of good things have happened.
Yeah.
You see my new iPad?
Yeah, we get it.
Oh.
Jesus.
Do you not have one?
No, I'm locked out of the Patreon account.
Oh yeah, it's sweet Patreon iPads. Yeah, it's only taken me a year of Patreon to...
Yeah, you had that iPad sent back from the future where there was enough Patreon money to get it.
A year would make it, yeah. Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Especially with the deal I got in this one. It was solid.
Get fucked.
Do you want to get into the news?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Been a while.
Since I could hold my head up high.
It's been a while since I've fucked things up
just like I always do.
And now there's a new logo for Detective Comics, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. It's fine.
It's very, graphic.
Unoffensive, yeah. I think that I could have done a better job, but I think that it works.
Hey, DC execs.
Yeah. You want to give me some design jobs?
I think it's fine. I think the thing that kind of bugs me about it is just how prominent the word Batman is. I get it. We all know Detective Comics is a Batman book.
But
we're not fooling anyone, but
it's like Batman Detective Comics.
You know what I mean?
I wish they called it
Action
Detective
Comics
Batman.
has Superman on it, but Superman is small letters, and then Action Comics in its very classic sort of font. I don't know. To me, I would like to see the classic font thing.
This feels...
It's fine. It doesn't offend me. I don't really have a horse in this race, but if I were redesigning the logo, I might not do that because Batman is huge letters and also it's in a bat symbol.
It makes it look like you're doing it Batman Detective Comics rather than Detective Comics and Batman's featured.
But this is the thing is that essentially you are doing that because that's what Detective Comics is now, but
it feels like a marketing move where they basically were like, how are people going to know that it's Batman? It's like, oh, you mean because the Batman that's on the cover, the Batman that's in the
Well, I mean that's the thing, right? So I don't really care.
But if you asked me to make an opinion, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
it doesn't offend me, but I'm also just like, oh yeah, I could have done
that. Not what I would have done. Yeah.
No. All right, next piece of news. Sticking on this Batman train, Batman announces...
sorry, what does Batman announce?
Sorry, Batman announced... Batman announced... Oh, this is what I think.
He doesn't really do press junkets.
No, but that Bruce Wayne guy sure does.
I have never seen them at a press conference together.
Alfred must be Batman. Do you want to do it, don't you?
I can't.
I can see.
I know. You can see the wheels turning. I'm not going to do it, though.
You're like, oh, the Batman now.
Was that Captain Phillips?
Batman as Captain Phillips as Batman. Hey, you look at me. You look at me. I'm the Batman now.
There's so many layers. Alfred as Batman doing Captain Phillips.
Yeah. Hey, you look at me. Hey,
I'm the Batman now.
I'm the Batman now. Hey, you princes of Maine.
And Cider House rules.
That's right. Hey, you princes of Maine. I'm the Batman now. It's shagadelic.
and Goldmember.
Yeah. Well, no. It's because didn't Michael Caine play his dad
In Goldmember.
Oh, in the Gold. Okay, yeah.
You think I don't know fucking Austin Powers? This was almost the Dr. Austin Powers podcast.
That's perspective.
So what is Batman announced as?
Batman announced as inaugural inductee in Comic Con's Museum Character Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so like the Comic Con, like as an organization, is starting like a fictional character Hall of Fame sort of thing for.
They've had a museum apparently.
Yeah, and this will be a place for like things that are like a big part of the pop culture and stuff like that. And as a fitting celebration of his 80th birthday, and as a huge fuck you to Superman, Batman is going to be the first one inducted.
Like they were like they came up with the idea last year and they're like, nah, it's fine.
Let's wait. Yeah, I mean, Batman is like a sales juggernaut, and Batman is undoubtedly like, from a business perspective, sort of the lifeblood of DC. And like you can make a new Batman film every 4 years. It really doesn't matter what happened in the last one. You just be like, we're rebooting, and you go like, great, I'm in.
Sure, yeah. I liked it.
Let's make a Gotham show. It's about Jim Gordon, and it's like, now let's make a Pennyworth show. It's like, no, let's.
I'm very curious how they're going to basically...
Let's make a show about the settlers that founded Gotham on like a sacred burial site.
Somehow, like the Riddler and Scarecrow still show up.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh crap, they went back in time.
Yeah, the Riddler in a pilgrim hat instead of a bowler hat. Yeah, I mean, Batman is undeniably popular, extremely important part of the comic book landscape, an iconic superhero. He's a fitting entrant to this Hall of Fame. It's just kind of funny that it's like the year after Superman's 80th, which was pretty subdued, and Superman is like, he's fucking Superman.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that Superman symbol is like one of the most recognizable pieces of iconography in the world.
I'm sure you could say that with a bat symbol, though.
Probably, and you can also say it, I think, with Spider-Man too. But
probably,
I'm sure at some point Spider-Man will get in this Hall of Fame. Superman probably will, maybe. If they remember him. Oh, yeah, that guy.
I guess.
Isn't he the guy with his planet blew up?
Jimmy Olsen's friend.
Oh my God. The ultimate insult. Jimmy Olsen's pal, Superman.
Yeah. Crypto's owner.
Can hear Superman blowing his brains out in the Fortress of Solitude. But yeah, so Batman...
Echoey because of the ice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So at any rate, Batman will be the first one inducted to that. So that'll be part of, I think, like the Comic-Con festivities this year, or this summer.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're actually going to do like a legit museum somewhere. Like, I don't know if this is just like...
I don't know if they have a bricks and mortar thing,
or
if
would
it's
doubt
just
it.
part of Comic-Con.
It'd
be dope if it was just like a place you can go year round. I actually don't know.
Because like the what is it, the Academy from the Oscars or whatever, like they're right now they're building like their museum of movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's like this gigantic thing in LA. But yeah, I mean, something like that for comics would be fucking rad.
Yeah, I'd be in for that. That'd be neat.
All right, next piece of news: a digital first release of DC superhero girls Weird Science.
Nice.
I'm kind of weird science.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah.
Which is funny because it's kind of making a reference to a thing that like none of the people who are reading this will get.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you remember Weird Science? Remember that thing from the 80s? Remember it?
Those DC superhero girls like books and stuff are awesome though.
I hope that they're popular because it's a really cool thing that they're making.
They're dope. I love them. I'm starting to like grab a few and just make like a little collection
for your dirter.
Yeah, and yeah, they're dope. I love reading them. I think
what is it, Steve? What do we call your daughter?
Kyle.
That
was what the Twitter poll came in.
Yeah, that's your child's name.
Hashtag Kyle. On the birth certificate, I actually wrote hashtag Kyle.
Hashtag ask Dr. DC.
Yeah.
They're like, well, of course. Obviously. So these Weird Science things are fun. Do you remember what the whole thing?
I actually don't remember what the specific plot of this one is, but I mean, in general, though, these superhero girl ones, they're like set like in like a school, like they all go to school together. So they've had like, this is presumably about their science class.
Oh, it says Weird Science is an original story that follows Zatanna and the rest of the teen superheroes as they tap into their inner scientists for an upcoming school competition.
See, like a science
Yeah,
fair.
that's adorable. Oh my God, I love that.
They did one called Finals Crisis.
Oh, that's
like they do stuff like that, which is awesome.
That's so fun for everyone, I think, who might be interested in that. God, that is so cute.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they do this. I hope that your child likes these things.
Yeah, I mean, with my luck, she's going to be like, I reject this entirely. I'm into something else.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what the opposite that would upset you, because normally it'd be sports, but you kind of like sports.
Yeah, I do. I don't. It could be like cars or something. I know fucking nothing about it. If she was like a motorhead,
Yeah, but then you'd be like, dope, like fix the car.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's practical, but I couldn't really share in that.
Oh yeah,
I'd be like, what's a valve?
that's that video game company, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking dork. She's not wrong.
Yeah, I wonder how many years I have before she calls me a fucking dork.
I mean, do you call your dad a dork?
Not to his face.
No, I think because
I don't call him a dork.
You're dorkier than him. That's why. We've proved that every episode that he's on.
Yeah.
He's like, well, actually, and he's just like, you fucking dweeb.
He hasn't said that.
I mean, listen to the first time he comes on. It's not that far from that.
That's true.
All right, next piece of news. Doomsday is coming in Krypton Season 2 trailer, and he looks fucking dope.
He really does. Like, I saw a thing on Twitter that
terrifying.
I saw a thing on Twitter that was like, how come the TV Doomsday is so much better than the movie Doomsday?
Right? Like...
And I didn't even hate that movie one, but like, yeah.
I mean,
this TV one looks fucking ferocious.
Like legit, like the great, like great comic too.
The visual effects of this Doomsday are super impressive already.
Yeah,
that show in general is really impressive on its visual
it's
effects.
Just
in the way that like Discovery is to Star Trek. Like, holy shit, you can make a Star Trek look like this, and then it's like, holy fuck, you can make a comic book TV show look like this.
I think my only issue with Krypton is that it's one too many steps removed away from the original content. That I'm like, I don't have a way in, and I just don't care.
Right, because it's Seg-El, it's not even Jor-El.
Yeah, it's just like one too many steps where I'm just like, I don't really know that much.
But you get Zod and Brainiac and there's all these other characters.
I jumped off kind of before those things came up, and so it's more of just like it's a lot of names that I recognize or like last names, I guess, but like for them, it's so like vaguely, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't care. I want to. Right. I'll have to try to. Hopefully, season 2, like
Lobo's going to be in this season.
Yeah, but I mean that's a character I don't really know that much about.
He's the main man.
Yeah.
Literally, he has a space motorcycle.
I know, that's why I said that.
Vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom. Yeah, you fucking dork.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah,
it's definitely cars. If my daughter was into cars, I couldn't help.
No. You'd be like, I have a car.
Yeah. I've been in those.
I can drive a car.
How good are the wheels?
Yeah.
Are the wheels aligned?
Is that a 5-cylinder? I don't know.
A triple gasket pump.
Automatic. Wait, no, manual's the cool one. Damn it.
Shit.
Fucking idiot.
What's cooler than not having to shift gears?
I'll tell you what it is. It's Batman. That's the theme this week.
Way to bring it back.
Nailed it. Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel it?
So aggressive.
It's Ace Ventura.
Aggressively thrusting. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, but just before we get into Batman, I'm sorry, this is a tangent. Did you see that like Jim Carrey and Benito Mussolini's granddaughter are in a Twitter like fight right now?
Is this like not an April Fool's thing?
No, this is real. Because Jim Carrey put up like basically some sort of political cartoon about how fascism ends and it's like being strung up or whatever. And then Mussolini's granddaughter called him an asshole.
What?
Yeah. First of all, who the fuck knew that Mussolini had surviving descendants?
I had no idea.
And why the fuck don't you change your name?
And why are they just like, no, actually? Like,
and also, well, yeah, beyond like, maybe let's not defend fascism, but like, yeah, So yeah, Jim Carrey and Benito Mussolini's granddaughter are in a Twitter war because it's 2019.
I will say that there is people in Italy and stuff who are still just like, he did a lot of good things for the country.
Made the trains run on time.
Yeah. Or else.
You can't be threatening in Italian. Only American Italian is threatening.
Yeah. Oh, else.
Like, hey, Vinny.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
The gabagool.
Not like, hey, I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah. Super Mario.
That's one of also my in-laws are all like straight up the boat, like from Italy, Italians, and my favorite thing in the world to go a boopity boppity every time they start speaking.
I'm
Italian.
sure they love that.
Yeah. No, it's one of them enjoys it, but I don't know what the other one. But I don't really care. Let him ask.
Sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
So a boopity boppity Batman. That's what we're talking about this week.
Because Detective Comics number 1000 came out. And it's been 80 years of Batman.
80 years of Batman.
He's 80 years old.
God, I thought it was 50. I said that 50. I forgot it's 80. Oh my God.
You said 50?
It says somebody today. I was like, it's the anniversary. I don't know, 50 or something. Yeah, it's much more than that though.
Fucking idiot.
I get it's much more.
We've been doing this for almost 2 years.
7 years.
I mean, I can't imagine a universe where this podcast goes for 7 years.
Oof. I mean, it almost didn't go 7 months.
Yeah.
But we fixed that problem.
Yeah, I mean, but 7 years, that could be the darkest timeline.
We're just like, I don't know, Gnort. I don't know.
This week we're going to talk about fucking Blue Beetle's goggles. Yeah. Send in your questions.
Send all your goggle questions.
Whose goggles are better, Blue Beetles or Radioactive or Fallout Boys?
Putting that in the theme. It's not a bad idea.
But yeah, so we both read Detective Comics 1000.
We did. Some of us took longer. The other one, some of us rushed through it so they could get to a meeting. I'm not going to say who's who.
Yeah.
I'm also a poor reader, so I probably just took longer in general.
I mean, it's mostly pictures.
Yeah. That part helps.
But like Action Comics 1000, this is a collection of different stories, not necessarily in or out of canon, but just celebrating the Batman.
So you want to dive into it a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this was great. I was actually excited for this because I really enjoyed the Superman 1000.
Yeah, that Action Comics one was awesome.
The Action Comics was great. So, Detective Comics 1000, I didn't know. I was like, are they going to do the same sort of concept? And they did, which was great. We got a bunch of like sort of individual storylines that don't have any connection and done by different writers and artists and some huge all the big names were there, and some of them that we haven't seen in a while. Some new names were put in there, especially with a lot of the artists. Were some lesser known artists were definitely in theirs, but they also got some of the big names. For that as well. So it was great. I was super stoked for this. Just even looking from the cover, it's such a cool sort of like layout. I think it's kind of, again, this is going to be one of those things I think that's like the perfect, if you've never read Batman kind of things. Like I don't think it gives you as much of an introduction to Batman as like the Action Comics did for Superman.
Sure.
I feel like that was like, if you knew nothing, you could just open this book. This, I feel like it assumes you have a bit of knowledge, but I couldn't imagine anybody not having a little bit of knowledge.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's Batman. There's been like 7 movies, like you know something.
Even if you had like a kid, for some reason, I think it's one of those things that's so much in the zeitgeist that you just know without even having seen the movies. Like,
yeah.
So I can't imagine this being to its detriment at all. But it's a thing that I noticed when I was reading it.
That's true. I think you're right. The Action Comics one, you get a sense of what people think of Superman by reading that.
And really get more of like this is what his career has been like. This is more of like the best type of stories and interesting looks and different perspectives of Batman.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I loved this sort of this cover of it. It's super interesting. I like the sort of like he's got Joker in like a chokehold.
This is the regular cover that Jim.
We're not looking at variants.
I think it's the Jim Lee. The regular cover there.
Which, by the way, which one's your favorite variant cover?
Oh fuck! There was I think there's one by Art Germ. It's the Gotham City Sirens.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that one looks really, really dope. I like that one.
I think mine's the Chow one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I fucking love that old school like style.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Batman 50 or 60.
Oh, like the 66.
66 sort of style. I really like that.
Yeah.
And then you got like, is that Nightwing in the background holding the batons?
Yep.
And Alfred's like holding a tea set.
Classic.
Which I'm just like, I just love the idea that
Is that what bad time, sir?
It's just, are you not?
The thing is, sir, you're choking up the Joker, but it's 3:30. It's usually when you have your tea.
There's this like commercial that keeps going up on Teletoons, where it's like it's like some Batman TV show, and there's keeping this shot of like, I think it's Robin being like, "Oh, Alfred," like trying to like get a refill on his tea, and it just like it constantly is in my head. I don't know if it's from like a movie or TV show or something, but it's animated, and it makes me laugh every time I think about it. But and there's like a shot of Batman like sipping a tea while like looking at a screen. It's very funny.
I mean, that sounds like him, yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny. But yeah, so and then obviously Scarecrow is tied up in the bottom corner, as well as sort of behind him is Riddler, who's like leaning up against a giant coin. There's a ton of really fun stuff. And then in the background is a T-Rex standing in the middle of some weird contraption machine.
Well, I mean, there's the T-Rex is like an iconic piece of like Batcave furniture, basically. Like that's one of his trophies. It's from Dinosaur Island.
Yes. Which they touch on a little bit in this comic.
That's right, they do.
Well, we'll get to it. It's good. Yeah. So, you open up to basically the full page spread, which is awesome because like you get a little bit more. Now you suddenly Robin's in the forefront in the corner. You get sort of you get a little bit of the flying bat.
With the Batwing. The Batwing, yeah.
Yeah, we get the Batwing with like Harley Quinn. You get Catwoman. You get what else is in there? You get Two-Face and Bane's in the very front, laying on the ground. Like it's a really cool.
They've thrown in like
kind of
some of the most iconic, characters. Obviously, like, what's interesting? I don't know that it'll necessarily come up when we talk about the questions, but if you read a series like Batman Eternal, which I think came out in his 75th year, that series, it was weekly and it went for 52 issues. And through that, you basically saw pretty much every character in the Batman universe.
Oh, really?
From like citizens like Leslie Tompkins and Commissioner Gordon and Harvey Bullock to villains like the Flamingo and Crazy Quilt and Ten-Eyed Man and stuff like that, through like all of the iconic ones, through new ones like Court of Owls and Lincoln March and all this kind of stuff. And like that book took you through all of Batman, and you're like, holy fuck, there's a lot in here.
It's crazy.
These covers do a version of that, obviously pared down, but it's that idea of like, who are some of the hallmarks, who are like the big kind of pieces of what make up Batman's mythos today, right?
Well, exactly. The art, who do you know who did the general art, like for this cover, for like the regular?
That's Jim Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that it's a good for the cover, like for the general cover.
Do you have to like backpedal now because you've like self-proclaimed hate?
I don't
Jim
like
Lee.
it. I don't. I honestly, it's not that I hate.
It's not my favorite cover.
This is what I'll say, and it's the thing I always say about Jim Lee. It's just like the most straightforward comic book art. It's like what you think of like straightforward modern comic book art. It's not doing anything interesting. It's just like, this will work. This is the like tepid water of comic book art.
Sure.
It's not unoffensive.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. It takes all of the things that you expect, but it's nothing surprising. It's nothing interesting. It's just like, this will do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's fine. You open it up and you get the sort of like old school Detective Comics logo, which is really fun.
I kind of wish they would keep that. That was my point, when we were talking about that logo thing. It's like Action Comics basically has the same logo. I mean, it's a little styled more modern, but like it still looks the same font and everything.
My only issue with it is that it makes it seem like it's like a hard-boiled detective sort of thing, and that's not really what Batman is anymore.
Well, I suppose not. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, maybe the logo is more representative of the actual tone of the stories inside, but yeah, I mean, when it started, so unlike Action Comics 1000, where it was like literally the 1000th issue that featured Superman.
Yeah.
Even though Batman has been in thousands of issues of comics, He hasn't been in 1,000 issues of Detective Comics. He made his first appearance in Detective Comics 27.
Really?
There were 26 issues of Detective Comics without a Batman story.
What is it? Just like a detective?
Well, the main like first detective that was like had an ongoing story is actually in one of these stories, and his name is Slam Bradley.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting.
And I think it's the first story that's in there. I think is like a Snyder Capullo team up again.
Yeah,
and it's called The Longest Case.
That's our first story.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we dive into that? Because that's the first thing. I mean, you get to see some ads, but then you get the cover of The Longest Case, which is I like this look. This is more of like the Affleck Batman sort of in some ways. You get the shorter sort of ears. You get,
like design wise.
Yeah, a little stockier version of him.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more like the Affleck Batman. It's a good introductory story, and I like it because this is really a detective story.
It is, and it's his longest case because he's basically saying like
since basically my first week on the job started.
And he's just finding these little clues, and some of them
are
like
few years.
It's like a code written in like scratch patterns in like an icicle, and then
it's fun. It takes you
him
all
to the
over
next
the world,
coordinates, and he's like, it's something I chip away at between like fighting bad guys. I've been
sometimes there's years in between.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that first sort of panel too is really great because I love how it's framed. The first sort of side piece is like it all began like it started when I first was becoming Batman, and then as you go along through these little this sort of grid of frames beside it, you get to see how it kind of over the years you can slowly get to it, and you really have to kind of look through them. And it's 9 frames, all sort of like detailing the years.
Yeah. And they're crazy clues. Like some of them are like in dead languages, or like their coordinates like etched in ice, or like all these sort of insane things. And he's following it all through the world. And he feels like he's finally come to the final piece of it. And he is working himself up. He's saying like, who knows what's through this door? They're clearly smarter than me. Like it could be the toughest thing I've ever faced. Blah 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 blah.
Right, because clearly it's like the biggest. Like it's clearly the smartest person I've ever dealt with, and I mean this is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, so I mean you expect it to be.
And they know Batman too, but they do kind of build that like holy fuck, like what's behind that thing?
Yeah, I mean, and it's great, and I think that like it's a really great like small story. It's kind of the perfect thing for something like this. It feels like large in scale while still being really like a nice short story.
And the crazy thing is he's been all over the world over all these years,
and
going
comes
clue
back.
to clue, and he ends up back in Gotham in like an apartment building. It's like, oh fuck, this was here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is reminiscent a little bit of their Court of Owls run, where there's something in Gotham he didn't know about, kind of thing.
Yeah,
they're coming back to that sort of theme too. But he does finally find this location. And he deciphers all the codes. He gets in, and Slam Bradley welcomes him, and he's surrounded by other detectives.
And it's the guild. It's the Guild of Detection.
Yeah.
Which is it's adorable. It's got you got Hawkman in there. You got Martian Manhunter in there. Obviously,
Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, Detective Chimp, the Elongated Man, Slam Bradley. I can't tell if that's Sue Dibney or if it's meant to be someone else that's in there too. Yeah. But they're the other thing that I love about this is Batman does not believe that like that's the end of it. He's like, no.
Yeah, but like, why did it take you so long to even like get me? Like,
well, and this is the other thing is, Batman is often referred to as the world's greatest detective, and I mean he is. But I think what this story is proving is like maybe the thing that makes him a great detective is that he's relentless. He doesn't give up. He's not necessarily the one that gets there first.
The smartest,
but he will solve it, and that's what makes him a great detective. Is that like eventually nothing will escape him.
Yeah,
but
because he shows up and they're like, "Oh, it took you long enough."
But the fact is, all of these other detectives have already cracked it.
It's so fun. And
although they do say something like they each had a different path to it or whatever. Like they didn't all follow the exact same clues or something. Because Detective Chimp, like basically they laid clues out to induct him into this detective guild.
it's kind of funny that some of them did. Some of them were just ones that have been like there forever.
Yeah.
Like they all kind of, it's a sort of like web, and like some of them connect to other ones, and some of them are ones that have been there forever.
It's just funny that, like they had this sort of club without the world's greatest detective.
Which kind of, I think he even took a sec because he's just like, I thought I was the greatest. Like,
well, and he, like you said, he does say something like, "Why did you wait this long?"
Yeah. And they're just like, we didn't. You just took that long to get there. Like,
but basically, it's people that celebrate like the unknown mysteries of the universe, and they're in this sort of room with this library and whatever. And he and Slam Bradley talk a little bit, and he takes a book off the shelf, and he opens it. He's like, "Oh, holy shit!" And it's this idea that like there are these cosmic mysteries that require the greatest detectives, and that's what this guild is.
And it's just like the greatest unsolved mysteries of existence that have at least touched these halls. Like, so basically, if anybody who's been part of this has like heard of any sort of mysteries that gets added to this, so whether that's like outside of Earth and this universe, it can be included.
Yeah.
Just like, and they're basically, they hint to the fact that it's just like, we know that you don't care about being part of this club. What you care about is the next mystery. Like,
I mean, I know that's not what's happening with the book, but I would love if Detective Comics just was full on like, this is a book about the Guild of Detection now. And you don't necessarily always follow Batman. These are all detective characters. We get an arc with Elongated Man on this mystery. We get an arc with Detective Chimp over here.
It was just about detectives because there's already a Batman book. Like,
I mean, there's already so many Batman books.
Yeah.
And there's going to be cool stuff in Detective Comics. We know Arkham Knight is coming and that sort of stuff. But like, I wish that they would double down on this idea of this guild and just make a book about these people just solving mysteries. And some of them are small and some of them are big. And there's different team ups. You used to do like a kind of Brave and the Bold style where they work in different teams. Like, I would dig that.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we basically leave the story and we fall right into another one. It's one of the things that I kind of have a hard time with this book is that they don't really necessarily separate everything by like bookends and like and title pages. Some of them you take a few pages to get to a title. Sometimes the title's at the very end.
Yeah, so it can just be that the title's at the very end with the credits, and then you flip the page.
Yeah, there's nothing separating them except for like the artwork style sometimes. So you have to kind of be aware that you're like now starting a new one. Some of them say the end. And I think most of them actually do say the end. You have to kind of look for it though.
And that's a thing that like outside of these sort of anniversary issues, I think a lot of people have maybe forgotten or lost the technique of how to read an anthology comic. Yeah. Because Action Comics and Detective Comics both used to be, there were like 3 or 4 stories in each of them. Same with All-Star Comics, All-American Comics, More Fun Comics. Those were all like, no one had their own book.
Yeah.
Except for Batman and Superman, because no one could.
Yeah.
So you would get More Fun Comics and you'd read a Green Arrow story, and then you'd read an Aquaman story, and then you'd read a Dr. Fate story. And then that was you for the month or whatever. But you know, even Detective Comics now and Action Comics are just like, here's a single story. Maybe there's a backup story in there. But I think because of that, we sort of lose the technique of like, how do you read an anthology comic? Just in the way that you have to learn how to read like from
comics in general, dialogue
to narrative, and like what order, like how do you serpentine through the page? I think that's also like a comic technique that we don't have as readily available anymore.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right. So this next story is Manufactured for Use. Which is Kevin Smith and Jim Lee.
Yes.
And the artwork is totally Jim Lee. But this is an interesting story. I
really like this one.
You basically you end up in this sort of collector's sort of, it's like almost like a pawn shop.
Yeah, it's a pawn shop with like a secret back room pawn shop or sort of shop where people can buy like basically artifacts from the world of Gotham superheroics and supercrime. So there's, you know, like if you were on the inside and you could get into the back room, if you were like this kind of buyer, you could possibly get like Riddler's cane from when he tried to blah, 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 or you could get like, the shoes Joker was wearing when he fell in the reservoir, or like it's that sort of thing, like where people are like, maybe rich people come to town and they just want a piece of that world.
Yeah.
Which is totally a market that would exist in a world with superheroes.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, like that's
yeah.
I mean, we collect stupid shit already in our world, and let alone if these kind of heightened sort of mythic gods were.
It's something that they play on a bit in the Marvel movies with like sort of like all of everything plays off the artifacts found after the big New York.
Oh, sure.
battle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That does come up a lot. Yeah. No, that's true.
Which I really like. But yeah, so basically you get to see sort of like it's sort of a look back on all of the fights and villains from Batman.
Yeah.
You get to see sort of the where all these different little pieces of these battles went to, and
but this fellow that's in there is Matches Malone,
yes,
who initiated comic book readers will know is Batman's mob identity. He has an identity that he uses to infiltrate the mob, or like, you know, to get, you know, info or stuff like that, and it's him.
Is that what it is?
That's Matches Malone.
Because I was kind of like, oh, maybe this is because it just. It's only vaguely. That's hilarious.
It's basically Bruce Wayne in sunglasses and a pencil mustache.
That's really funny. It's kind of what's that movie with Michael Cera where he plays like the? Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, so he ends up getting the gun that killed his parents.
Yeah, so the guy is, you know, he's like, oh, what's this one? The guy's like, you remember the Waynes? This is the gun that took them out, or whatever. Because again, this is like, artifacts of famous crime.
Exactly,
And yeah, Batman buys this gun and brings it back to the Batcave, and Alfred.
He only paid $1,000 for it, which is impressive.
Not that well. No, he paid $1,500. The guy said it's $1,000. And he goes, "Here's $1,500." And he goes, "You can come back anytime, bro."
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's right.
He brings it back to the Batcave, and Alfred starts saying like, "Well." This is where they mentioned the dinosaur. He's like, I helped you move that fucking dinosaur in here. I threw my back out moving the fucking dinosaur in here. Why would you bring this like horror?
This thing that like you've been spending your entire career, like life trying to like get away from that moment, and now you're bringing a vestige of it into this.
Yeah, and he's making a point of like, why would you make this a trophy?
Yeah.
Of all of the things, like what a horrible thing to make a trophy of. And Batman says, that's not what I'm doing with it. And he melts it down, and he makes it like the breastplate that sits under the bat symbol. And in different things, we know that the bat symbol is partly on his chest because he's Batman, but also it's on his chest as like a subconscious thing to like draw people's focus.
Yes,
like
so
it's the most armored part of his whole suit.
People want to shoot him there because it's like a target.
Exactly. And in this story, it's even more armored. And he says something like the hunk of metal that like ripped a hole in my heart will now be the piece of metal that protects my heart.
Yeah.
So that's where this story goes, and it's actually really lovely.
It is. It's a good story. These first two stories are a great introduction to this. I loved these first stories, and I was like, if this is the way we're going, like I am in for this book.
You get Batman's detective skills, and you get Batman's past. We got to get the parents in there, right? Like that's part of it.
Yeah. Now we just need the artwork to get a bit better. Zing, baby. All right. So the next story is the legend of Newt Brody. From Paul Dini.
I love this one. So Paul Dini very iconically was the writer behind the animated series, or most of the animated series. He's the creator of Harley Quinn. He's like he is a big piece of Batman's
and
history.
Of course. So he uses his character. He uses Harley Quinn as the framework for this.
Well, for part of it, it goes through.
No, at the end it does too, I think.
Oh, that's true. It goes through a bunch of different villains.
Yeah. But she's the framework for it. It's the sort of bookends of this thing. It starts with her talking about like someone's just like, do you know Paul Dini? Do you know Newt Brody?
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh yeah, I think I punched that guy in the face or something.
So Newt Brody in this story, he's this
is such a fun
he's
concept.
This infamously incompetent henchman that like all of these different villains at one time or another have been either like forced to hire or they've accidentally hired or whatever. And so you're hearing all of them tell these stories. Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, my wife just brought us little baby eclairs.
You're hearing all these villains tell these stories about about like instances where this fucking incompetent henchman Newt Brody like ruined their caper. The Mad Hatter talks about one where he's supposed to just watch a window and he falls asleep and the bat comes in and beats them all up. There's one where he burns down Ivy's lab or something and she's like, oh, I kissed him and killed him. Like I killed him. There's another one where he messes up the Joker's plan. The Joker like shoots him a bunch, but somehow this guy keeps coming back. Like they're just like, we don't know how he does it. He's so fucking stupid. We hate this motherfucker. Like he's fucked up everyone's plans. And it's such a funny idea. Like again, like with the pawn shop for crime artifacts, it's the idea that like there must be a marketplace for henchman work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like there are people that are not going to be super villains, but there are people that might make a living like just doing the grunt work for them.
Yeah.
Like you're getting this sort of like secret history of all these like mundane elements of the superhero world, which I think is fucking hilarious.
It's like there's this entire sort of like city and all the things that like the economy that's affected because there's heroes and villains. There's all of these you need to have like these businesses that cater to them. There's people who are gonna just like take advantage of the fact that there's there's work to be done. And like even like I think even Joker has to like hire some extra people.
Well, that's that in the Joker one, it's like this mayor hires him to like attack polling stations so he doesn't lose or something like that. So like people don't vote. And the Joker is like, yeah, of course I'll do that. But he's like, fuck, this is a big job. I need people.
Yeah.
Like, even just that idea.
He's just like, oh, God, like, I got to hit all of these polling stations. Like, I like the idea of him, like staying up at night because he can't, like, he's like, there's so much work. Like, there's a deadline. Like,
just him trying to plug in shifts on a calendar or something.
Like using Excel and, like, moving around columns.
That idea is so funny to me.
Yeah.
And they play it so well in this story. So at any rate, this Newt Brody guy is infamous for being the one where it's like, it doesn't matter how hard up you are. When you hire him, your plan will fail. Because
of him, and he's the reason. Like,
and it's always him. And we finally get, and Ivy, like I said, is convinced that she's killed him.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you didn't kill him. And she's like, I did. And you finally get through it, and you see the Bat family all talking to each other, and you realize that like they have all taken turns playing Newt Brody. Like, just like Matches Malone, this is just their way of infiltrating and incapacitating criminal activity.
So good.
They've all taken a turn. Well, all except for Damien.
Who's just like, call me like New Brody Jr.
Yeah, that's right. But they're talking about like maybe it's time to actually retire him because they're Ivy's pretty convinced that he's dead or whatever. But I just love that idea. It's that thing where it's like, not only are they fighting crime, and maybe that's an effective technique to do it, but like they're also having fucking fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes stories get too bogged down in like the weight or in the realness, but like there's an element where it's like, you're superheroes. There must be some part of you that thinks it's fucking fun or exciting to do this. And they
kind of, like, not in this story, but later on we'll kind of talk about it, but they do bring up that kind of part of it.
Totally, yeah.
Really
that's right. They do in another story too. But I kind of love that they're just like, all right, you play them this time. You fall asleep at the window and then we'll come in and beat them up. I think it's so funny.
It's so, because they're not just like, and then of course they showed, the Batman like showed up and it's just like, how do you think he got there?
Yeah. How did he know? There's one where, the one where he fucks up the Riddler's plan is that the Riddler is the only one that has this code or whatever that he needs to disable, like the labyrinth or whatever the fuck it is. And Batman goes straight for Newt Brody. He goes, code now. And he just says it. And Riddler's like, how did you? And he's like, I was taking your dry cleaning and I saw this piece of paper and I thought it was important, so I memorized it. He's like, you just fucking told him? And it's like, I mean, obviously, you learn later that that's a member of the Bat family, but even if it wasn't, just the idea that there's just this, like,
fuck up,
this, like, he's just a fuck up henchman who just keeps getting hired because, like, the talent pool is shallow or something like that. It's really funny to me, too. It's
such a good idea. I love it. It's so good.
It's a really, really fun story. And a very Paul Dini story. That could very easily have been an episode of the animated series. You know, like that the format the storytelling thing. They've done that before. There's an episode called like I Almost Had Him or something like that, where a bunch of the villains are talking about times they almost beat Batman. Like even the format of it feels like a classic animated series episode. I really liked that one. That was a fun one.
Totally. So the next story is the Batman's design, which is all about sort of his technology and his powered suit.
That's
and
right.
like all of the tech that goes behind Batman. I really like all of this. They sort of take a little bit apart of like of what it is to be Batman, a little bit apart of what it is like to be in Gotham. It's just they really sort of like pull apart all the themes of Batman and Detective Comics, which I really enjoy. So the artwork is one of the best parts of this. I think that the
Who is the artist on this one? I don't remember offhand.
It is it's Becky Cloonan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great work. I think the letter work in this is actually terrible, but I think that the artwork and the writing is really, really great.
Yeah.
Even the colors and pencil work, but I think the lettering is really, really shitty in this for some reason. But anyways,
Look at you. You got opinions, eh?
I do. It's vague. We're 111 episodes.
Yeah. I like it.
So I love the look of the Batmobile.
Well, why don't you take us through this story?
So absolutely. So they you start with sort of it's a scene on the docks. These criminals are basically coming into like who was it that they were getting weapons? I think. Oh no, it's like somewhere. Yeah, they're somewhere between like a mercenary outfit and a cult.
Yeah.
But it's basically this criminal organization. They're pretty vague about exactly what they're doing because it's mostly about sort of Batman using all of his tools.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And I like the part where he goes like Batman's talking to Alfred and he's like put it in voice command mode.
Yeah.
And so that's the framework for this whole thing is him like using these bits of voice commands as you go through.
He's like rigged this warehouse kind of like a chessboard, and as he's fighting, he's calling like the
D4,
the things he wants to detonate or like activate or whatever. Yeah.
And so as he's kind of fighting through this whole thing, he's just going D4, F2, and things explode. You're like, these all these huge explosions and ball bearings. Like, you think this is probably gonna kill some people? And he's like, and there's specifically a line that's like, this won't kill him. The medical copay for his surgery in prison will probably hurt more. It's just like, oh god, of course.
I mean, if you needed more evidence that Batman is the 1%, the fact that he's like, poor people paying for medicine.
Yeah.
He's like,
I mean, I guess it's good that he does that, and he makes some line where it's a line of just like, oh, that won't hurt him, but like, this won't kill him, but it'll hurt him a lot.
Yeah,
like that's his whole sort of thing. Where as long as there's one point where this guy like killed children, so he takes the end of a gun and just shoves it into his throat, and I'm just like, Jesus.
Yep.
I like it, and he just says, "Fist fights are for idiots."
Well, yeah,
so are guns.
Well, it's that idea of like people in a movie you'll see people like put their weapons down and be like, fight like a man or whatever. Batman's like, that's fucking stupid. Win.
Yeah, win. That's all.
He's like, I don't kill, but fucking win.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, I got this batarang and. God, the artwork in this is so good. I really love the artwork in this. The use of color, the framing, the sort of, it's both like very detailed and like intentionally lined, but at the same point, the frames are really like sloppy, but also like intentionally. It's super cool. I am in love with.
It's very dynamic.
I could buy any one of these panels and they would be super good.
Yeah.
And then so you finally come upon this like cult leader / like crazy militia, like a guy who's basically saying like, if I press this button, he's like, it'll like fuck up Gotham forever. So like, not only is it going to kill you and me, but like this is a dirty bomb.
It poisons something.
Yeah, and it'll basically leave Gotham poisoned for years. Which is really interesting. And he even does he's like, he says he studied this guy a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's more, he's not sure if he's more afraid of dying or living. He's like, so I'm going to give him that push.
Yeah.
Just like,
there's a little, Batman's a little bit of a gambler still, like at the end of the day, like people you can predict a lot, but you can't predict everything. And even Batman knows that, but he's playing the odds.
And so he just keeps coming up and he's like, look at me. And the guy's like, no. And he's like, look at me. I'm already dead. Look at me. I'm trapped in this place and all I do is haunt the living, which is like, whoa.
If I ever heard Batman say that in a movie, I would be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's like a surprisingly like super dark line for a story that's relatively not that dark.
It's
like,
a great Batman line, though. I kind of can't believe it hasn't been written before.
Right? Oh, it's so good. And then he says that about himself, and then he goes, is that what you want for yourself? And the guy's like, no. And then that's just the end of it. Yeah. And he basically gives over the detonator. And it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. I'm already dead.
Just like... I'm trapped in this place and all I do is haunt the living. And it's just like, jeez.
Yeah. Holy shit.
What a fucking line.
The other thing I love about this is, I mean, even though it doesn't take you through it, this is also about Batman's planning. You know, like before this entire engagement, he rigged up this entire warehouse exactly the way he wanted it.
It's kind of like insane.
These people are like, oh, let's go to the docks, let's get our weapons. And he's like, he's already beaten them. They're already done.
Yeah.
By the time they show up, which is kind of, you almost feel bad for them, or it's like, you didn't even have a fucking chance.
I like the idea that he's just like sitting there like with the
shooting fish in a barrel.
Well, I like the idea of him just like days before, just like with like a little he's like on this little sheet and he's like, and then he like shows up.
He's got like, blueprints. He's like, where's F4? It's that crate.
Yeah. Like, then he has to memorize them, and then
it'd be really funny if he just forgot one. He's like, B7. He's like, oh fuck, oh no,
yeah. I just like, and he's in there, and maybe he like put a little like mark on the side of it so he remembers like.
I do like that one.
It's a fun one. It's a kick-ass story. I love this next one, which is Return to Crime Alley.
Yes.
This is a very different perspective of, this is basically going like, if you've been like, hell yeah, Batman for the last 4 stories, this is the 5th one where it goes, this is fucked up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. This is a fucking U-turn of a story.
It really like completely makes you go, yeah.
Which is good. You need something to snap you back, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's a palate cleanser.
It's so easy to get caught up in like the power fantasy, right? Mm-hmm. Of Batman.
So this is basically Batman's hanging around Crime Alley at the anniversary of his parents'
death. My parents.
Darkness. I like that a lot of the artwork in these is like almost sort of like 1950s, 60s serial artwork.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, return to Crime Alley. Yes, it's very much like that. Like,
like the lettering and stuff.
Well, yeah. Just a lot of, and like the names and stuff, like they feels very much like that. Like you're getting these little sort of like short story serials, like from the 50s. And so there's a cover of like an old woman yelling, and she's just saying like, Bruce, no. And the sort of descriptors above it is Leslie Tompkins' voice is shrill and edged with panic. She must stop Bruce Wayne from doing what he will forever regret, which is interesting because they say Bruce Wayne, they don't say Batman.
Yeah.
And then they say she must stop Batman from doing the unforgivable. So it already implies that she knows that Bruce Wayne's Batman, and she's referring to him as Bruce Wayne.
And she does. Leslie Tompkins is a longtime friend of Bruce Wayne.
But if you didn't know...
Yeah, that's true. If you were brand new to this, you'd be like, who is Leslie? Because she doesn't actually come up in the comics that often, frankly.
So what you find out through the comics is that she was the one that kind of like first helped him through everything beyond Alfred.
And Leslie Tompkins in the comics runs a bunch of like free clinics in like the poor parts of Gotham. She's a different type of crusader. You know, she's like the one that you'd hope people would become, not the angry vigilante.
Well, and that's what this whole thing is about. Basically, is that it starts with these sort of like modern day criminals who are going to come and try to like steal some shit from people and rob them, and so they start following Leslie, and then of course Batman shows up before they get there, and she's just like, Bruce, like, of course you're here at Crime Alley, like on the anniversary of your parents, like get the fuck over it.
Yep.
And she's just saying, like, you had all this money. you could have been helping people. You could have like stopped, like you could have been charitable with your time. You could have done this. Like instead, all you're doing is just causing more pain. You're bringing more hurt.
But she's also saying it more for like his soul, because Wayne does give money and he is like monetarily charitable. But what she's trying to say is like, you could have been doing this work. And that and feeding your soul and like finding like some form of happiness, as opposed to like dwelling in this angry darkness.
You're giving into the darkness that was set upon you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, and basically like, so eventually she starts to get robbed by these guys who show up who are basically like, the guy Batman's not real. It's just somebody who dresses up.
Also, like, you have to be the stupidest muggers in Gotham to see an old woman standing next to fucking Batman and be like, we'll take her purse.
Well, I think what they were saying is that they were like, the Batman's not real, though. It's just like a concept and like a guy who dresses up in Halloween costume.
Which
like,
I guess means that like his sort of thing works, but...
Yeah, exactly,
like,
right?
Like, stupid fucking muggers, don't take the chance.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem worth it. So yeah, they end up getting their ass kicked, and as they're getting their ass kicked and pulling guns out and stuff, Batman's kicking their ass, and she's like, "Stop! Like, why are you doing this?"
Kind of reveling in it. Too.
Yeah, he's kind of just like, "What do you expect me to do? Someone's got to do." Like,
there's a lot of bitch slapping in this one.
There is. Batman has been a classic bitch slapper. I mean,
I feel like it's meant to be a reference to that meme.
Yeah, probably. Which is really interesting.
He slaps a gun out of someone's hand. He slaps someone else in the face.
I like the part where he's like, "How dare you pull a gun on me?" As if it's like, I'm fucking Batman.
Well, this is what I mean. Like stupid muggers, right? Like it's that he's so like indignant about it. Yeah.
But the fact that even he's just like, I'm Batman, right? Like. So he doesn't even...
He's like a petulant celebrity, yeah.
Yeah, it's like to the point where he's just like, I'm not even going to kick your ass. I'm going to slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, I'm not even going to punch you.
Yeah, you don't even deserve a Batarang. I'm not going
to waste ammo.
Waste the money that it takes to spend on these. I'm just going to smack the shit out of you.
It's a $700 Batarang.
You don't even have a character. You're just wearing masks. Even just like, you think you could hide behind a mask like that? Like, it's just like, you little bitch, you don't even try.
Yeah, and it's pretty one-sided. Like, basically, I mean, it definitely is, but it really feels like abuse as opposed to like justice.
Yeah.
It feels just like a guy beating up like people.
Well, especially the part where she goes like, can't you see he's already had enough because he just wants to continue to beat the shit out of these? And she starts going like, poor thing to these people who were going to rob them. And he's just like, you feel sorry for him? And she's just like, no, I feel sorry for you. And it's just like, oh.
I mean, Batman is a fucking maniac in this story. I mean, it's going the other way, right? From like F4.
Yeah.
I haunt the living. And then it turns around and it's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like, remember, if that guy actually existed, it would be fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, and this story is really good at that. The one thing that did kind of, I was like, is that she calls him Bruce. He's beating the shit out of these buggers. And she's like, Bruce, no.
It's just like when it gets like...
And he's not like, Leslie, shut the fuck up.
I'm going to fucking drop you like...
You want me to slap you?
I am the knight.
How dare you use my real name?
But that ending...
Yeah.
That's
where it lands for me. The art really carries this story to me as opposed to the writing. The writing is
beautiful.
I mean, the writing also indicates where the story goes, but the art is really telling the story in this one. And that's the strength of this one. But that little bit at the end of...
We can tell it's like these are kids. Like it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, like even if they're 18 or 19, they're like trying to take a purse and he's giving them the fucking beating of their lifetime. Like the punishment does not suit the crime.
No,
but you can tell it's heightened for Batman because it's the anniversary of his parents' death. They're in crime alley. Like you could tell it's the surroundings maybe also heightening his violence as well. But yeah, like he doesn't even have a moment where he goes like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I got taken away with the thing. He's just like, these fucking monsters. Like, like, you're the monster,
just
bud.
Like, geez, like take it down. Like, is there a Batman at like a 4? Like,
it's an important, but is there a Batman at a 4? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an important story to have. It's good.
It's a nice palate cleanser. It's like
good
right
to
dead
get
in the center.
brought back to real life, which is like the power fantasy is fun and all, and the adventure is great, but like this guy is
a maniac.
Is not okay.
He's not making the right decision to be Batman.
No.
It's
There are other people who are vigilantes who are doing it the right way, like Ted Kord Blue Beetle. That's a good vigilante. The Flash, but like Green Arrow is at least on the side of the downtrodden, understands the nuances that like social injustice like forces people into crime.
Though
Batman's just like crime punch.
So he is killing people.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Poke holes in the argument.
So this is the halfway point ish. But the next story, I would say this next story for me, at least personally, is kind of a low point in this.
Sure. Which one is this one?
The Heretic. Yeah, it's I honestly kind of skimmed through this. I don't even remember the story that well. I thought it was interesting that it's basically like a 90s take on or like an 80s, late 80s, early 90s sort of take on Batman. From the artwork style itself, feels very like, it reminds me of a lot of the like X-Men comics. You might have to, I think it might have.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
It reminds me of like early X-Men sort of style, or like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like kind of style of artwork.
Right, because this is all about. Oh, right. This is the one where it's like
the Waynes, the organization they used to have before they died. This guy shows up and he's got he gets beaten down, and he's got this card that's like the Wayne's whatever association, whatever it is.
Yeah, and like Bruce Wayne is on the scene with Commissioner Gordon, which is a nice throwback to like the original first appearances of Batman, where like Gordon and Wayne are friends. Yeah. Gordon doesn't know that he's Batman, but he's just like, hey, what do you think about this case? And Wayne's like, I don't give a shit. And then he like goes, he's like, oh, I gotta take a call, and he goes to the other room and becomes Batman and works on the case. So that's kind of like a nice nod. But yeah, in this one, basically it's like the League of Assassins has come to has come to Gotham, and he goes after Ra's, and Ra's is like, hey, it wasn't me. Like,
it's not a very strong story. I think it's important that they put a Ra's al Ghul story in this, but I just,
the ultimate thing of this story though is that Bruce, it was an assassin that was killed who had like defected basically.
Yeah.
And the idea is that when Bruce was going around the world training and he trained with the assassins, he sowed this seed of dissension that you could be something other than an assassin, and he basically like he started this kind of underground movement in the League of Assassins that's breaking it apart. And so he's the heretic because he sort of preached this other way that Ra's al Ghul doesn't tolerate.
The only thing I do like about this is like how 80s and 90s it is. Like even like the cars, like the Batmobile is like this like almost like Corvette looking, like almost like the Knight Rider car a little bit. And it's, you get all the like 90s limousines in it that the bad guys are in. Like it's very sort of 80s and 90s.
It does kind of feel
the art style, the subject matter, it's definitely a callback to another time.
It's fun in its own way, but I agree, this one didn't stand out for me.
You get the blue and black and gray Batman, but I think that it was trying to be a little bit more than what it was, and it just didn't kind of work for me. But it was okay. Like,
and if you just asked me like, what are the stories in Detective Comics 1000? That's the one that would probably surface the like last for me.
Yeah, I'd forget about it, to be honest. Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just surrounded by some of the other stuff that's in there. It doesn't really pop.
No, for sure. But the next one is one that I love.
Is the next one I know?
Yes. Yeah. This is the Bendis and Alex Maleev story.
By the way, Bendis is doing so great at DC.
Good.
Between the Wonder Comics stuff and what's happening in Action Comics and with Superman, and then even this, it's like, Bendis gets it, man. Like, I think a lot of people think he's pretty middle of the road, and maybe that's fair. Like, he's not pushing things. He's not like Morrison, right?
But we got a Morrison. We've got...
Well, exactly. I mean, like...
We've got a Snyder. We've got a Morrison. We've got people who are going to do a little bit more.
For someone that just, like, gets it and what's at the core of this, let's, amp that up a little bit. Bendis is crushing it. I really love this story.
And this story is rad. So you get an old Bruce Wayne and an old Penguin,
Oswald Cobblepot.
And so they basically Cobblepot approaches Wayne, who's in a wheelchair at this point. Like this is like beyond Batman Beyond. This is like
I mean Bruce I think is meant to be like 90 or something.
Yeah, very very old. And Cobblepot basically just goes like, I know you're Batman. And that's the framework for this entire comic where he just, and then he explains why he knows.
Not just I know. I knew the whole time.
Yes. Like, and then he basically explains like this story of how the Joker tried to pull everybody together and sort of create this organization that will help together. They will be able to bring down Batman. Yeah. And so through that, one of the conversations that came up was, obviously, if you're going to take him down, like, who is he? He can't just be. He's got to be a real person.
They say something like, like the boy wonder. He must go to school. Like they're trying to find any like tethered to real life where they can figure out who Batman
is. So one of the ways they do that is they go, well, obviously it costs money. It's how everybody goes like, how could you not know? Obviously, it's the billionaire, right? And so they go, well, it's got to be somebody rich enough, and everybody else seems to go, oh, I think it's Lex Luthor, and Cobblepot's the one who goes, no, Lex wouldn't do it. He's a bad guy. Who would do it is somebody who is like the most lavish sort of billionaire there is.
And I think everyone else writes Bruce Wayne off as not being capable.
Yes.
That, I mean, maybe he's rich enough, but like he's like that fucking dork. Doesn't one of them say like, I kidnapped him, he cried like a baby or something like that?
Well, that's what Cobblepot did. So what happened was he goes, I figured it out. I know, I alone, but I had to prove it. So the only way to prove it is to capture Bruce Wayne and basically say like, I'm not gonna let go of him until Batman shows up, and if he doesn't show up, then obviously this guy's Batman. So he puts all of his resources into it. He fucking puts bombs on the back of penguins, like he says, and all of his penguins have them, and he's ready for it, and then for some reason he decides to stop, which is a really interesting moment, because he basically goes just like, oh, I'm like, if I mess this up even just a little bit and just kill Bruce Wayne, he's like, I'm dead.
Yeah, the point that Penguin makes here is, he's afraid of killing Bruce Wayne, but what he's saying is, if I fuck this up, if I'm right and you are Batman, and like it's unlikely I'll actually kill you. But what I could possibly do if I outed your identity is just kill Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And a Batman without a Bruce Wayne
is basically
who could just
killing me.
all of his time. He's like, then I'm fucking done.
Yeah. I'm over.
So Penguin decides that it's better to keep the secret, because at least with
half
Batman,
his time he has to be Bruce Wayne.
Exactly.
And I love the line where he basically goes, if I fuck this up and I'm gonna, like, I fucked things up in the past. Everybody's fucked things up in the past. Yeah. He's like, oh, this guy's fucked stuff up. I fucked things up. He's like, I probably shouldn't do this because I'm probably going to fuck this up. Yeah. Which is a really interesting sort of like moment of clarity for him. But he goes, no, I'm going to win because I didn't kill him. Yeah. And so that's what he starts describing. So we go back to the shot, which, by the way, this is probably my favorite artwork in the entire series.
It's really beautiful artwork.
Beautiful.
It's very sort of soft. It feels
takes
like
almost
pastel.
Like, pastel meets sort of the darkness of Batman. It's this really interesting work. Really like use of minimal colors throughout the whole thing. Yeah. The really thick sort of frames are beautiful. It's one that I would love to have artwork from. Yeah. I think it's unbelievable. So yes, so you go back to the shot, this shot between. So Cobblepot's explaining this all to him, and he goes, "And that's why I beat you. I beat you because I knew." And that's when Bruce Wayne fucking electrocutes him.
And he goes, he tases him with the wheelchair.
Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah, I knew you knew." He's like
Batman always gets the last word,
and he's just like, same way I knew you would be a coward and not go through with it. Yeah. He's just like, and you just hear him go, they told me you couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Cobblepot's like, they told me you couldn't speak. And he's just like, good visit.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh.
Even like retired old nursing home Bruce is like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. I love it. He's still got one more trick up his sleeve.
You cannot pull one over on
The
this
fact
guy.
that he's been like pretending he couldn't talk just for a moment like this. Oh,
Yeah. I know, it's hilarious.
he's the longest con you could possibly play.
But I love that, like we talk about it a lot. Like, how could people not know the secret identities or whatever? We talked about that in terms of different characters and stuff like that. But no one explanation completely holds water. There's the Lex Luthor can't believe that Superman would willingly make himself as meek as Clark Kent. Like, that's one. But this is a really good one. It's like, yeah, maybe he did figure it out. Maybe it wasn't that hard, but maybe he also realized that the only thing keeping him intact was that Batman had some sort of tether to real life and human emotion. And if you kill his secret identity, if he can only spend his time as Batman, then like you're fucked. Like that's I love that concept. I think it's really good. I like that it's Cobblepot too.
Yeah.
Because that's the other character that runs in those rich circles. He's like the mirror of his like.
It's like, what if he didn't become Batman? If he became like
it's the socialite mirror.
It's if he stayed being the rich guy and he went in the other direction.
Yeah, and so I like the idea that, sometimes, the Penguin kind of works with Batman, or sometimes he's like always playing both sides. He's like a businessman, informant, all those kind of things. Like it makes sense that he's the one.
Something to do well in Gotham too, to be honest.
And not necessarily someone just out to kill.
No.
But someone that recognizes, like, no, the business opportunity is not killing.
Yeah.
Like, he's the right character to pick for that.
Absolutely. So, the next story is a really interesting one. We got 3 more. This one is The Last Crime in Gotham by Jeff Johns and Michelle Madsen.
Yeah.
I like this one because it takes the idea where it's just like, well, what if they just ran out of crime? Like, what if everybody went away?
This is a real Silver Age feeling kind of story.
Totally. And you get sort of even the artwork.
Even kind of golden agey.
Yeah, the artwork feels very Silver Age though.
Yeah.
And you get, this is like everybody's kind of grown up at this point. Like you get an adult Robin rather than like an adult, like it's kind of Dick Grayson, but he didn't become Nightwing. It's sort of this alternate universe where like the Batman and Catwoman did end up getting married, and like they had like Batgirl is like their kid.
Yep. Well, yeah, they've got it's him and Catwoman. There's a kid Robin and a kid Echo.
Yes,
is the name, which is a dope name. And yeah, like they're finishing like literally the last crime in Gotham.
Yeah, like basically they were just going, oh, what about the Joker? No, the Joker died actually. Joker just died.
But they operate like a family. Like they show up and goes, what do you think? And then Batman's like, well, Echo, like why don't you have a look around?
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah,
it's like yes, very
what
good.
What did we teach you?
Yeah, it's kind of again very Silver Agey.
Yeah.
It's like it verges on silly, but it's actually quite heartwarming.
Yeah. It's like what if he didn't completely go too dark? Like what if there was a part of him that like and what about Catwoman? What if they did make it work? Like
and on Earth 2, they do. Batman and Catwoman get together, but their daughter is Helena Wayne, the Huntress.
Oh yeah,
and they do make it work.
Yeah,
but so this is a slightly different version of that.
It's an interesting concept where it's just like, what's the ends to these means? Yeah. Like, would you eventually like stop crime? Like, is that what you're trying to do? And so they basically now it's like the Bat family finds the last crime, and it's basically like all these 12 people dead at a birthday party.
Yeah, and it's sort of made to look like a few different crimes, or reference a few different crimes. So it they're like, is it a holiday? It's like, no, like Alberto Falcone,
he's dead.
It's like, is it the Calendar Man? It's like, no, he's one of the bodies.
Yeah,
it's not Calendar Man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this guy is like a copycat of copycats. He's like trying to reference a bunch of sort of iconic crimes at once.
And so they're just like, well, who could it be? It's got to be. It's got to be somebody like who obviously would want to do something like this. And then I like it. They go. It's the April Fool.
Yeah,
which I'm just like, who the fuck is that?
And it's the Joker's son.
Which I didn't know. Was that a thing that's ever happened?
Ooh, well, I mean, Joker's daughter is a thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what? There might be some buried Silver Age thing with Joker's son, but
it's not something I've ever heard of.
It's not something that comes straight to mind.
So I like it. They just go and they go. I like the son of Joker, and it's got his like crazed face. And they go, he's dead? 1 of 12, but why? And they look, and there's like the card.
Yeah,
it's very weird. And what did he pull? Is this a flashlight? I didn't really get the end of this. I'm like, did he kill himself after? And
yeah, he did.
Yeah, as like sort of the last crime, I guess.
It's the sign off. Yeah, he was the last crime in Gotham.
Exactly, and so he kills himself, and then that's the end. And there's like a shot back to his house, to the Batcave, and he's like sitting eating like a cake, because not only did they die at a birthday party, but he.
Well, but what you realize this is it's what Bruce is wishing for.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
He's blowing out the candles on his cake.
Yes.
And Alfred says something about like, "Oh, did you make a wish?"
I hope you made a wish.
Yeah. And so you get like a little vision to like, what is the end game for Batman? Like, what does he hope for? And it's actually a hope.
Yeah.
It's not just that I don't die in an alley.
That's
it's not just something like that. He's actually he wishes for something more, which is actually quite sad.
Yeah, kind of.
But again, a sort of fun story, very Silver Agey.
So the second last one is really interesting. Yeah. This is it kind of a little bit plays into our theory about Alfred. So this is the precedent.
Yes.
Which basically the precedent is set that because he decided to become Batman, other people are going to orphans should continue to try to be Batman.
Yeah, the framework here is that it's Alfred and Batman arguing about whether or not they should allow Dick to be Robin, basically.
And he's going
to allow him to be a sidekick. And Alfred is like, "This is like
I've made this suit. Obviously,
he's demonstrated he's got the skills."
I've made this suit. I spent all this time in it. I'm not going to let you
Alfred
fuck this up for me again.
Yes, Alfred is basically saying like, this is happening,
which is crazy because
like you can't stop it now. He's figured out who you are. He wants to do it, and
he's got the talent.
And Bruce is like, no, like he's a kid. Like it's the first time really that I think you see Batman go like, you can't put a kid in the crime fighting.
Yeah, and you also go, wait, is Alfred the bad guy here? Because all this time you're like, I know Batman's fucked up, so I kind of believe that he would do this, but you're all going,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess, Alfred's been going along with all of this for all of these years and just been like, oh, spot of cheese. So like
Alfred's ultimate point kind of redeems him in this. But yes, at first you're like, it's weird to see Alfred argue this vehemently as opposed to just being like, well, yes, of course. But he's like, no, like, do it. Like,
you're just like, he's really like invested in this.
But his point is like, look what the tragedy did to Bruce. What he had to go through to get to being Batman and what Batman is are all ugly, horrific kind of things. He's like, Dick is going to do this no matter what. He's seen that this is what you do with your life, and he wants it. But he's like, he has the opportunity now to see it as a kid, to see the adventure, to see the fun, to not see how grim the world is.
Yeah, and Batman's like, that's a bad thing. And Alfred basically goes, no, that could be a good thing. Yeah. And a good thing for you.
Maybe you will see the adventure, which is the thing we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And basically his ultimate point is like, you, by helping him to do this, by allowing him and guiding him and training him and helping him, you'll give him a better future than you had because no one did that for you.
Exactly.
And that ultimately is true in the comics. Nightwing is like a super well-adjusted, he enjoys being a superhero and he has fun and he also fights crime. He's very talented. He's good at what he does.
It's a thing that Dick Grayson is struggling with in this first season of Titans too, which is he's just going like, I have all these skill sets. Like I'm trying to not be Batman because I have enough sense to not become Batman.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's very interesting. It's a great sort of look at, and I'm glad that they included a little bit of Robin in this because it's. It's up until this point, you didn't really get a lot of the rest of the super family.
Yeah, and it ends with
Bat family.
It ends with Bruce capitulates, and it ends with a nod to a reference to a very iconic image of Batman and Robin like making an oath over candlelight and that sort of thing, which is amazing, like ripped straight from the comics.
And what I love too is that they're going. One of the things too I like is that as you're telling sort of like they're talking about it. Well, one, you're seeing sort of the you're kind of seeing what his future is, Dick Grayson's future is going to be.
Yeah, you get sort of shots of like the Titans.
Yeah. It's kind of going like, he's going to have this really great career and this great life. And then also Batman's like, Alfred's like, but what about the others?
Yeah.
And he's just like, what do you mean the others? And he's just like,
if we do it he's like, there's no way this will be the last orphan.
Yeah,
which is a funny thing to see Batman. So he's like, if we do this, we're doing this a lot.
Yeah, like I'm holding myself back at this point.
I'll buy every fucking orphan.
Yeah.
And so he's saying we're setting a dangerous precedent. And to your point, what you said before, Alfred says the precedent's already been set. You were the precedent.
Yeah, you were the child
that went through the tragedy and became this. The precedent's already been set.
Now,
this is the second one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's just going to keep on happening.
Yeah.
Which is a great sort of second last story because it leads into the last story.
Yes. This last story is just like with the Action Comics 1000. This last story is like what is coming in the next few issues of this title.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because this story is the one that sets up the Arkham Knight. The version of Arkham Knight that shows up in these comics.
Because I love this story. This is hilarious, this story.
Oh, are we talking about this? Is this the same story?
No, this is, unless there's one after this.
This is the last one. This is
Batman's Greatest Case.
This is
Tom King.
Oh, no, sorry. We're not at the last story then.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. We forgot
the Tom King one. Sorry.
Oh, I think I skipped past that one then.
No, this one is the last. Like the one I was just talking about is the last one.
Oh, okay. Because I thought this was the last one because I kind of thought the last one was just sort of an ad for the next issue, so I didn't really read it.
Well, no, I mean it's still a story. But
okay,
it is kind of setting up what's coming.
It's not really like one of these, though. It doesn't feel like.
Yeah, it's not just one of these retrospective kind.
I think that's why I sort of didn't really read it. But,
fair enough. Sorry, this Tom King story. Yes, go for it.
This is the last of these sort of short stories. I think, truly. And I love this. This story is hilarious. This is Tom King's Batman's Greatest Case. Yeah. And it basically starts out with sort of this, you get this shot of Batman at like a graveyard.
Yeah.
And you get this sort of like conversation that's this sort of disconnected conversation, which it's like, I'm not really sure who it's between, but what I like is I think it's between like Dick and Damian.
Yes.
And they're talking about something that's happening, and they're going like, "Do you know?" And the guy's like, "I don't know. Do you know?" And what I love is just like, I like when they start going, you have many fine attributes, Richard, but you are not the greatest detective. Yeah. And he goes, "Sure, but I thought I'd be like at least third greatest detective." And he goes, Dick goes, "You're the 11th."
Damian says Dick is the 11th.
And he's just like, "Oh, okay. At least I'm above Ace." And he's like, "Oh, we're counting Ace? Oh, well, then you're the 12th. It's almost like it's happening through like text messages because it's the way that it's
very
written.
Short. Yeah,
they're super short and they're very funny. And he's just like, disappointing. Not shocking, but disappointing. And you basically, as you go through, you start seeing all of the Robins are collecting together.
All the different Bat family members, and no one knows why they're being summoned. And it's in some, it's starting some paranoia. Like the Red Hood is like, "I'm getting kicked out of the family. He's going to kick me out of the family." And then I love the who's the guy the black kid with the yellow Duke
costume?
Thomas.
Duke Thomas.
That's the signal. Yeah,
and he's just like, why is it never about me?
Yeah, he's like, maybe it's what I did. And it's like, no, it's not. Wait, what did you do? And he's like, nothing.
Nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And then it becomes this whole thing where it's just like, who did it? Was it?
Yeah.
Is it something we did? Is it something like who? And they're just like, why do we even care? Because it's Batman. Like, which I love so much, and it's just this constant sort of like, you see what everybody else is. How they're affected just by being around the presence of Batman.
And you see some relationships you don't often see, like Red Hood and the Signal, or there's another nice moment between Huntress and Cassandra Cain.
When they're sitting and
she's like, you don't talk much. No. It's like, I like you.
I like you too. She's like, all they do is talk.
Well, yeah. The one thing I will say in this story that I didn't like is I don't think Tom King could have written Barbara Gordon worse.
Yeah, especially the part where basically it's like, okay, then how old are you? Because it's Batgirl and Batwoman talking to each other.
Being so petty for no reason. Like, that's not Barbara.
No. And she's just like, okay, how old are you? She's like, it doesn't matter. She's like, you're a woman, I'm a girl. I want to know the difference. And then out of nowhere, they're like, I've dated Dick Grayson. You did you date? And it's just like, why did we?
Yeah.
Like, that does not, this story unfortunately does not pass the Bechdel test at all.
Oh, totally doesn't. Yeah. No, you're right.
That's the one thing that kind of sucks about this. Like, they just did not.
So, but yeah, Barbara does not land, but that's also sort of true of how Tom King is writing her in Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah.
I think Tom King and Barbara just, they don't mesh.
Yeah, exactly.
But generally, yes, it is a fun story. You're seeing all these members sort of line up. At some point, someone says, wait, why are we all facing the same way? That means, and they turn around, it's like, he's here.
Yeah.
And he's
which is kind of awesome because part of you makes you go like,
how did he make them do that?
Like, part of me kind of loves it because it's just like, was he just waiting for them to do that so that he could do that?
Like, he's been on a different rooftop for like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
just like everybody face the other way. Face the other way. Oh, I'm gonna go. Oh no, they're facing.
I can't do the Batman thing. I gotta do the Batman thing.
He's just fucking waiting.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
And so then he finally shows up. I also love that he has the like tan belt. Like it's more of like what you would think like a utility belt would be.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Which is kind
almost
of awesome.
Looks canvassy.
Yeah. And so then he pulls up this Batarang that's like floating with like a camera.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wait, I can't remember who that says it, but they're like, oh, I remember that. We used that thing like on this other. I know what this is.
Yeah.
And they sort of lean up to it, and then you get the sort of final shot where it's the entire Bat family like well posed in front of what was the camera, and it's just Batman looking super tough with a little tiny speech bubble that just says cheese.
Yeah,
they're
basically taking a family photo.
Oh.
There's also someone makes a reference in this to be like, I wonder how many crimes are being committed while we're all up here doing this.
Yeah, how many banks are being robbed? That's what they said.
Because we're all here taking this fucking picture. Yeah, I mean, it's again, as a celebration of Batman, a very fun story.
Oh, I love this. This is such a fun story. It's a great way to sort of end. Like,
and
it's
another
a nice bookend.
And another reminder of like there is fun to superheroes as well. It's not all I do is haunt the living.
Well, it's a nice bookend too, right? Because like the first story is sort of like this is like some of his first case, like and this sort of thing that he's been like how sort of. Like he starts as the detective and he all by himself, and it ends with Batman has become now this whole family.
I mean, and there's characters that aren't even in there. Bluebird isn't in there, and
true.
Oh no, spoiler is in there. Oh yeah, because there's a bit where she and Tim, she's like, "Do you want to make out a little?" And he's like, "How do you make out a little?" And she's like, "You can do it." She's like, "Do you want to?" He's like, "Yeah, kind of."
It's awesome.
While they're waiting, yeah. So like that's kind of fun. But there is one more story in this book. And it's basically setting up the Tomasi, like what is coming in continuing his run on Detective Comics, and it's the introduction to the DCU of the Arkham Knight. Now, the Arkham Knight will not be Jason Todd, because that's what it was in the game. But we already have a Jason Todd. We have Red Hood.
Add up to that.
So we don't know who this Arkham Knight is, but basically this story is narrated as the Arkham Knight, and it's basically like. This is again flipping it around and saying like, no, like Batman did this wrong.
Yeah.
He fucked this mission up. He's created more pain and suffering than he has helped.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, you're seeing sort of flashes of, again, Batman's career and stuff like that. But the whole like driving force of this narration is like, you didn't do this right.
Yeah.
You fucked this up. And we finally get to a point where he's like, I'm going to fix it. It's about time Gotham City got, proper justice. And you see this first introduction of the Arkham Knight, the DCU's Arkham Knight.
Yeah, it's true.
So that is where Detective Comics is going. So Detective Comics 1001 will pick up on this story. I'm interested in that one because I want to see like what is this version of the Arkham Knight. I actually thought the game version was neat, even though you could see through it for fucking miles. Like, of course it was Jason. I'm curious to see what do they make the significance of Arkham to this person, right? In the game, it was that's where the Joker was keeping Jason all those years and torturing him and stuff like that. But what does it mean? Arkham is very famously like a symbol of the abuse and revolving door and like the recidivism and like not actually healing anyone. That is a problem with the way Batman does things. So if you're taking that as your mantle, like who are you? What are you doing with that? Because you think you're doing something better, but you're taking the name of the thing that is doing something horrible. So
exactly.
I really want to see like what they do with this character. I have a lot of curiosity about where this could go.
Yeah. I have no idea. Yeah. It'll be really good. I'm interested for sure.
Yeah.
This is a great 1000.
Yeah.
Like, it's
so, I mean, we there's some things that we like, some things that we don't, but overall, you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I think the only ones I think I just didn't like the Heretic. Otherwise, I loved every story. I think it'd be tough to choose my favorite, though. Honestly, they're all basically as good as one another. I think some of them are a little bit less, but it's all just like balance between number 1 and number 2.
Some of them I think I really like love the whole story, but I really like moments or I just like the payoff. That's how I feel about the Snyder Capullo one. It's like I like the payoff. I like the Guild of Detection. And like I said, I would fucking read that book.
Totally. Yeah.
But I think I know that one is way up there for me. I really like that story with Wayne and Cobblepot.
Okay, the Kevin Smith one is decent. It's okay.
That one is nice. I mean, maybe the Paul Dini one though, like with the henchman.
Yeah.
That one's way up. That's a really good story. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's a great sort of concept.
The one with Leslie Tompkins is really good.
That Bendis one is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean that I know, like, oh yeah.
I know might be the one that takes it for me.
Yeah, I think it might
in the way that like the car was the one that took it for me in Action Comics 1000.
Yeah, like I think that it's such a great short story outside of even being a comic book.
The one thing that I was missing in this one, there's lots of celebration of Batman, but the one thing I was missing in this that Action Comics did really well in at least one story is Batman actually saving someone.
Oh yeah. There's not really into that.
You see a lot of him beating up criminals, or you see a lot of like them having fun stopping crime or whatever. But
like, what is that? Why do you do?
But in that Action Comics 1000, there was that one Superman story where he's like, "I'm not going to make it," and it's like him trying to like fly to stop the bullet and like that sort of thing. And you're seeing him save lives. And I think the thing I would have wanted is maybe just one story that focused a bit more on the fact that even if he does it wrong, even if he is broken, or even if he's enjoying himself, like he is doing something good.
But I think at the end of the day, what they're trying to say is,
maybe they're saying is that he doesn't.
Or that it just doesn't have anything to do with the other people.
Well, I mean, and this is the thing with superhero comics, especially when you get a rogues gallery and things like that. Eventually, you're just after each other.
But like
the people are sort of collateral damage. It's not about robbing banks
Superman
anymore.
is about people first.
I guess, yeah.
Batman's about the criminals first.
Well, fair. Yes. That's a fair point. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, that's a perfect sort of balance between these two 1000th issues.
That is a very fair point.
It's what makes them so intrinsically different at the end of the day. You could really bring it all down to those one facts, right? At the end of the day, Superman is just about saving the world.
But there are great Batman moments where he takes like the fear that he can instill and then turns it, right? Like I think it's in the Amazovirus arc of Jeff Johns' Justice League, where Jessica Cruz is sort of like she's losing control of the power ring,
Yeah.
and she's succumbing to fear. And you just see Batman, in the shadows, like the real terrifying looking Batman sort of step in to the green light and just goes like, no, like, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
But he turns it around. He's like, I've been afraid, and it's okay. And I think I wanted one story more like that, and that's what I'm missing in this
I don't know
one.
if that is Batman at the end of the day. I think it's a good story thing, but I don't know if that's actually what Batman is.
I mean, that's an argument to be made.
Yeah.
I think it's something I'm missing. If I had to pick between them, I liked Action Comics 1000 better than this one. I do like this one. There's lots of stories I enjoy, but Action Comics 1000 felt more complete to me. This one felt, like they were missing elements. Like there were stories to be told that could have subbed out maybe one or two of the other ones that were maybe telling similar or parallel things. And I think I might have preferred that.
Well, I definitely would want to know what your residents' favorites are. What's your favorite story? What do you think about all of this? Let us know. Reach out to us online.
Out of 5 capes, what would you rank this?
This is a full 5, baby.
It's a full 5.
It's a full 5. I'm in it. I'm here for it.
I give it 4.
Really?
Yeah, very good. I love it.
Compared to Superman 1000,
the action
comics.
Action Comics 1000 was like it knocked it out of the park. That was a 5.
I think I like this one more.
Interesting.
With that, the Dr. DC podcast will be back after this quick break. Hey, residents. I'll keep this one short because this episode is a long one. But this episode of the Dr. ZC podcast is brought to you thanks to our sponsor, Great Lakes Grooming Co. You know how much we love this product. We talk about it every episode, but it's a product that I use every single day. Their beard oil, the Your Love scent, is a staple in my sort of daily routine. It nourishes my beard, makes it really nice and soft, and smells really nice. And when I have a little bit left over in my hand, I put it in my hair, and it makes my hair really nice. And it's actually one of the only things that will tame my hair because it's pretty crazy. The beard balm is a really nice way to kind of finish it off, and it sort of pulls the whole beard together. So if you have a beard, it's honestly these two products are like no other product that I've ever used, and they work super, super well. The Noble Selves hairstyling cream is unparalleled to all of the other gels and waxes and pomades and things like that. It's got this sort of medium light hold for somebody like me who has really thick hair. I'm always hesitant when somebody says it's a medium hold or a light hold because I'm always like, well, you're going to need basically cement to put my hair down. But this actually works really, really well without having so much product in my hair. It's really, really nice, and it's super soft without feeling like you have this gunk inside your hair. It's awesome. Great Lakes Grooming is meant to be easy and ready to use, rain or shine. And we've definitely tested it up here in the harsh climate of the Great White North. We can definitely go through a gambit of different weather throughout the year, and I've never had an issue with this product when it comes to that. But we're lucky because these products are also purposely designed and environmentally responsible, handmade in Canada. I know the people who make these products. It's the same people that we work with for these sponsorships, and they're really, really great people to give your money to be honest. And I know that they're very intently making sure that these products are safe and environmentally responsible. So trust me, you'll feel good about using it, and you'll feel good when you wear it because you'll look real great. But for you lucky listeners, we have a 10% off Great Lakes Grooming regular price products. All you got to do is go to thegreatlakesgrooming.com and use their promo code DRDC podcast. That's all one word, DRDC podcast, greatlakesgrooming.com. And just use that promo code, and you guys will get 10% off of something that's awesome, and you will definitely come back over and over again. It's not in our promo list that I was given, but they have these really great brushes that they sell too. They're unreal. There's a lot of process that goes into having a big beard. The bigger it gets, the more work it takes. And being able to have one company that you can go to and you can trust them, and everything works the way that it should. It's awesome. I can't say enough how much I love this whole product line, to be honest. So yeah, remember that website again, www.greatlakesgrooming.com. And now back to the show.
speeding bullet.
And we're back!
Hey!
Oh my god, this is going to be the longest episode we've ever done.
You guys are champions.
Yes.
Let's get into questions.
Yes.
There's been 80 years of Batman, and that's about how long this episode will be.
That's right. And I don't want to hear any fucking complaints
If you see the
online.
time lapse, it'll be like Futurama. You'll see civilizations like live and die around us as we record this.
There's new Dr. DC podcast. That's right.
We'll be here when Pangea reforms.
That's right. Gonna be a podcast up on top of us.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll somehow be like a river valley. Yeah.
Man, that drink is strong. I don't know. I kind of just went blah 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 blah. Blah. Oh yeah, I'm pouring. Oops.
Very, very precise bartender.
Yeah, you know. I drink to get the job done. First question. Well, let's go over to Facebook.
Going to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook.
First question comes from, a new resident, Amanda Couch. Amanda asks, do all Batmans, have an extra ab or just the Lego one?
That's right. In Lego Batman.
Yeah. He pulls it up and he's got the extra
He has
ab.
the extra ab. I think, I mean, seriously, no. But I think depending on who's drawing, if you go back to like the 90s and that sort of like almost
they love
when Batman almost looked like a gargoyle with like the 3-foot long ears and shit like that, like that Batman, I feel like had more muscles than there are in a person.
I think he had extra abs
yeah.
rather than an extra ab.
Like there are eras of comics where the art is very like,
Yeah.
like this is the idea.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that it's bad art, but it's like it's a different approach. It was like they were going for something kind of gothic and terrifying. Or,
I would
or
love
that 90s thing, which I've said before is like extreme. Which
Yes.
show every fucking fiber of the
fucking
muscles.
toys back then were so
Yeah.
crazy.
I would say that if you were looking for an era where Batman maybe had an abnormal number of abs, it's probably the 90s.
I want to see like there's got to be an era at some point in the future where they do like a superhero in like what if the costume was actually real. They kind of did in the Batman movie, but it's just like what if you couldn't see the abs, like because you couldn't actually do that, like it wouldn't, no one would make a costume where you could actually see the abs.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but just something that's more of just like it's a loose fitting, but like
like a sweatshirt.
yeah, well, not even that, but like it's still like the like a superhero outfit, but it just fits like how a superhero outfit would like in reality fit.
Right. Yeah.
I would love if someone drew just one a short story
There
like
are some
that.
artists that I feel like their artwork goes kind of that way. Like Frank Quitely, who did the artwork in All-Star Superman, like the way he draws Superman there, it looks very much like fabric. Like a guy wearing a outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's still clearly in shape, but like it looks more like that and less like we just painted this on your naked body. Like,
because I'm like the amount of time it would have taken just to put that on, just like with like a group of people just been.
And imagine if you were even just the tiniest bit sweaty.
Oh yeah, no, that would
like it's not
the swass.
This is not coming on.
No.
Not gonna happen.
And if it comes on, it's not gonna come off.
It shouldn't. Yeah.
No, God,
this is
no.
my skin now.
Yeah, this is how I live my life.
Yeah.
So I think that answers. Like
I
this.
think so.
Yeah. All right. So let's go next to everyone's favorite chicken, Maddie.
Oh, bark, bark.
Chicken Maddie.
So loud.
Yeah. Told you I put a lot of vodka in
You
this.
sure did.
Matthew Poulter asks, Poulter, I barely know.
You can't do that with every single one.
But it's something that's a little enjoyable.
He already has a drop. No, that's not what I meant.
Matt asks, There's a lot of alcohol in this. Drink up. Buy our merch.
This is longer than Docmus already.
This is so fucked.
Get to the question,
Oh
man.
my god. In light of Zack Snyder's recent opinions about Batman, where do you guys stand on his no-kill rule? Fucking kills people. Deal with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Fucking looking at me.
listen. I didn't have an issue Well, sorry. Here, I got to watch how I phrase this because someone will come at me online or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna get dragged out by Ariana Grande. He's got opinions about Batman.
I didn't have an issue with Batman killing in Batman v Superman because it was part of the story. Like, you're not meant to look at it and be like, Batman kills, yay! Like, the story is like, oh, fuck, Batman's gone off the deep end, he kills now. Like, that's the point of that whole fucking movie. As far as, people be like, did Keaton Batman killed? I've even said that. Kind of like that. And he did, but it's also like, it's like the off-screen thing. The thing with Batman v Superman is it was like gratuitous. It was like in your face. He definitely drove the Batmobile into someone's face.
Yeah,
like it's slow-mo. You can see it happen. Like, so because you're seeing it, because it's so explicit, then it's like, well, this better be part of the story, right? Not to say that it's different. I mean, they both killed, sure, but because you're being shown it right there where you can't look away, it has to be part of the story. Now, and that's fine. That's an okay way. You can tell your own story. You can have a take on Batman and do that. I like that movie.
Yeah.
I was all for that movie and I defended it, and I like Snyder's, what he's going for in that movie. His attitude in that fucking Q&A turned me off. Like, that idea of like, Batman kills you fucking wimps or whatever. Like, like, that's also not it. Like, he's missed his own point. Like, he made the movie. He should know what he means by that. And he's kind of, I think it's just the bitterness of what happened, and that has maybe gotten to him, which is fair. I can't say I would do better. As far as do I think Batman should kill? He absolutely shouldn't. I saw this other thing online though too, and we were talking about like the thing with the ball bearings and stuff like that in that one story in Detective 1000. Someone online was like, does Batman kill in the movies? Yes. Does he kill in the comics? No. But like, if you look at what he does to people, that would kill them. The only thing that doesn't is that it's a comic book and the writer says that didn't kill them. So, if you're taking the comics and Batman throws someone out a fucking window or like blows, like sets off a detonation right next to them, and then you're making a movie like Zack Snyder that's meant to be like kind of realistic, then like, yeah, that person's dead. Like that, sure. But I think it's the idea of like, we can suspend our disbelief a little bit, right? So if you're going to make Batman kill, that's not incorrect, but you have to make it part of the story. Whether this is a timeline where like Batman just can't take it anymore, he kills now. Or is it like he learns his lesson and he stops killing or whatever, right? Like, make it part of the thing. And if your Batman doesn't kill, then you can still put people through like a brick wall and then just make them go like, instead of die. Like, you can do that too. We are willing to suspend our disbelief. This is a world with a guy that has laser eyes. Like, it's not like it's going to be a stretch for us. We're going to be like, you wouldn't survive that. It's fucking Batman. None of this is happening. Like, so I think for me, I prefer a Batman that doesn't kill, but I was okay with BVS because the lesson is that like he's inspired by Superman and finds himself again, like, so I was okay with that interpretation. But if the movie was like Batman kills, hooray, and that was it, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know about this.
Oh, Doc, I think
I mean, it was jarring, right? Like, even for
getting
me.
A phone call. It's Alessandro Mussolini. I agree. I think that the killing is a great idea.
Batman is a fascist. Hooray!
Yeah. As long as the ends justify the means, it's good.
Who's got a problem with the fascism? I'm gonna come at you on Twitter.
Fanculo.
Fuck me. But yeah, I mean, I prefer a Batman that doesn't kill, but I'm okay with people having different interpretations, but it still has to have weight. Batman killing and it not meaning anything bugs me more, which is, I think, why I maybe bring up the Keaton thing a lot, because it's like, did he just put dynamite in that guy's pants and then push him off screen?
Also, the larger point, I'm nailing my Italian accent this episode. I'm just gonna.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so much better than it ever was. I'm just saying.
Low bar.
It's a great. It's me, Mario.
Woohoo!
I've been playing a lot of.
You've got shells like around you.
I've been playing a lot of Mario on my Switch. So.
Oh yeah.
Right. Next question comes from Chad. Bogle. Who asks, what Batman origin is best in your opinion? Oh my God. So far, no Green Lantern. His parents killed by a random mugger. Still no Green Lantern. Okay. His parents killed by a mugger who would become the Joker. No Green Lantern.
Okay.
His parents killed by a hitman hired by insert whatever crime family you choose.
Right.
Or jealous, wealthy mogul. Oh my God.
My
Chad Bogle. My favorite killing is the one that didn't involve Green Lantern.
My favorite origin is in Darkest Night, where he gets a Green Lantern ring right after.
Yes.
No, so yeah, there's a few different versions here. So the idea is that like maybe it's the fact that the crime is random, that it's just a mugger, that it's not like a hit or something like that. It's just they walk through the alley at the wrong time and a guy shoots them. And that randomness of crime is the thing that the Joker sort of embodies, and it's part of why he's such a great arch nemesis for Batman, is that Batman, for all of his planning, like he can't destroy chaos, right?
Yeah.
Like someone for no reason at all will commit a crime, or someone will die for no reason at all. Not everything is premeditated.
Yeah, I think that's the best sort of.
I do love that one.
Yeah.
That second one is what they do in the Burton movie, where it's again, it's not premeditated, but the person who commits the crime ends up becoming the Joker, has a closer connection to Batman in his career. I liked it in the movie. It's different. It doesn't bug me. I don't look at it and go like, oh, what a stupid fucking thing to do with the Joker. I actually kind of like it. And the way they play it in the movie is really good. It's not like the whole time, like Nicholson's like, I once shot the Waynes in an alley and now it's just, it comes up like almost by accident.
Yeah.
When he goes to kill Bruce Wayne, he goes, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? And then Michael Keaton goes, what? And then you get the flashback and you're like, oh, like it's not like the whole movie was like trading on it, right? It just becomes like a thing. So I like how they played that.
It gives a reason why the Joker has become such like it explains that part. I don't really like it, but it does give an interesting dynamic to them, and it kind of explains why Batman is obsessed with him. Yeah, which is I mean I'll give credence to that. It's good. I think that depending on the type of story, a Batman story you're telling, I could go either the sort of premeditated or the random mugger. I like the random mugger because of sort of the chaos and anarchy of it, and the fact that like no matter how hard he fights, you're not just going to defeat crime in general, and that's kind of what he's not really even doing that. He's kind of fighting these big sort of icons of crime, and that's not like there's always going to be somebody else who takes the mantle, and it shows sort of the like infinity of what he's doing.
Well, that's why it can only literally be a wish that there's the last crime in Gotham.
Exactly, and so that's why that works really well. On the other hand, from a movie perspective, I kind of like the idea that it's premeditated because it gives you this sort of like deeper mythology of why, of that Batman was destined to do this, and the fact that that his parents were sort of the opposite of who he became, which is his parents were held up to be these people who were creating so much good that they needed to get taken down because they were making Gotham too good, and Batman does it in completely the wrong way.
And if it's a premeditated hit, which is not my favorite, but if it's that, I want the Waynes to be good.
Yeah.
There's a couple of versions where it's like maybe they were good, but like Thomas Wayne had dealings or like the Telltale game does that a bit.
Halloween, like Long Halloween does that.
Earth 2, the New 52 series does that a little bit. I think even Batman Earth 1 does that a little bit. Yeah. And I don't like that.
No, I don't.
There's so much gray area and so much grim and that in Batman's world.
I like that the one good piece that existed had to be extinguished.
And I like the idea too, even that like maybe it's someone's bright idea to take out the Waynes, but like even the other crime families were like, it's a fucking shame about you folks, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's something about the idea that like it's that like weird honor code thing where it's like, these people, I did not fucking agree with them. Like I run the docks, blah, 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 blah. But like they were fucking upright people. You know, they built the fucking monorail.
Yeah. I couldn't exist.
I would never have avoided that hit. You know, like I like the idea of the Waynes being kind of unassailable because it's also a thing that Batman can't live up to.
But it's also-
if they're just like everyone else, then it's like, what is this fucking? I mean, maybe, and sometimes that's the point of the story.
Exactly.
Is like, why am I even doing this? But like, I kind of want them to be. It's the opposite of the Kryptonians, right? The Kryptonians doomed themselves.
Yeah.
But the Waynes were the
They did
beacon,
all the
and they
good
just got
things.
snuffed out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
why they felt comfortable enough to go down crime alley. We
started a foundation. No one will mug us here.
It wasn't called crime alley. Not yet.
We're just gonna put on Joe Chill's coat and his hat, put his body in the fucking dumpster, and go, can't follow fucking directions.
Yeah.
Oh, here they come. The movie's coming out. Here we go.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this was a great movie.
Give me all your give me all your fucking money.
It's weird how that guy's voice changed.
My voice is fine.
It's weird. It's kind of sounded a little pop. Oh no. Not my rents.
That's a scene we didn't do.
No, it's true. This was it. This was waiting for this moment.
That was the missing piece. Is Alfred trying to hide his accent?
If you want the rest of that story, please go to it and subscribe to our Patreon.
Oh, fuck me.
Episode 1. No, episode 2.
It's episode 2.
All right. I think that kind of answers that.
Yeah.
Next question comes from, another new resident, Dan Dunn. Not Dan started. It's
He's
Dan
Dan
Dunn. Yeah. It made itself.
We did not script.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
Fuck, line 3. Okay, yeah. I like the idea that all of this is scripted.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, look, you didn't laugh at the right time.
Yeah, fuck. Okay.
Can you call me an incel cuck a bit faster?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Incel cuck.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's keep going.
I'm going to get these words. This is the one that Gail Simone's listening to this episode.
I don't like this at all.
I don't like this. This is not okay.
What a bad show.
Okay. And Dr. DC Podcast 111 and... Okay. Dan Dunn asks, how would you define the different versions of Batman throughout each decade? Incel Cook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gail just turned it off.
Yeah. I get it. Nobody blames you.
I would too. We're already at like the 2-hour mark.
Fuck, right?
Right. How would I? So yeah. I mean, in the 30s, like the late 30s, when Batman first showed up, he had a fucking gun. He kicks a guy into a vat of acid in his first appearance. Like, do not fuck with that Batman.
Yeah, that's a Batman that he's came to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of
He's
gum.
Basically a mobster without a mob. Yeah, like that's that Batman.
I feel like that Batman's like, hey, I'm fucking Batman. Pow pow.
It's just like, I don't trust the cops to handle this. I better kill you myself.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Death Wish Batman. I think that's the 30s one.
Do you think that when he kicked that guy into the vat of acid, that was how he created the Joker?
I mean, not specifically, but I think that became the inspiration later for the Ace Chemical story for that thing.
I like the idea that that's the
it's not specifically
story.
that guy, but
I hope that someone rewrites that story so it shows that that's his creation.
I mean, in Detective Comics 27 that came out in the Batman's 75th year, like the New 52 Detective Comics, there's a story in there that it's a retelling of the case of the Chemical Syndicate, which is the first Batman story.
Okay.
And at the end of that, when you see this hand come out,
it's the Joker hand.
Well, it's white,
purple.
And you see it come out of the vat. I think that's the implication, as that story.
That's all I care about. I'm cool with that. I'm glad that exists.
Right.
Hey, I'm fucking baby. Hacha, broads.
Jesus. Through the 40s, Batman is pretty much a hard-boiled detective.
Yeah, solve some fucking crimes.
We're starting to get things like gadgets, the Batmobile, Robin, things like that, but it's very much still detective stories.
Hey there, Toots, I'm pretty sure this was a mobster.
Why is he a misogynist?
I don't know, because it's funny.
Although, in Batman #1, in the first appearance of Catwoman, there is that panel where he says, quiet or Papa Spank.
Let's see.
Which is pretty fucked up.
Hey, quiet there, Papa Spank, you damn bruh.
It's Charles Bronson as Batman.
Hey, I'm Charles Bronson.
Hey, Alfred, give me the Batmobile.
It's Charles Bruceson.
Jesus. I'd say the 50s and 60s, obviously because of the Comics Code Authority, which sort of restricted what type of stories you can tell. It got sillier. It was things like that iconic cover. It's like, I have to wear a different color bat suit every night. It's the only way to stop this guy.
That's a whole jeepers there.
But I think for me that becomes like,
oh there, kids. You got to make sure. Oh, gee golly, we got to go.
It's kind of like an adventure.
Jeepers.
Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Jeepers, Robin.
It's not Jeepers. You keep saying it.
Jeepers, Robin. Hey, shut your fucking mouth, you damn queer.
Jesus.
He's a bad guy. It's a different
stop
time.
Giving him airtime.
It was a different time. You don't shut my mouth. I'm still here.
Sounded a lot like that army sergeant.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Kind of the silly era. When you get into the 70s and you get into like Neil Adams and stuff like that, that is more like, it's almost like globe-trotting adventure. That's when you get like Ra's al Ghul and like these cool...
Ra's al Ghul sounds like a poof, if you know what I mean.
For fuck's sakes. You get these like stories that are like, a bit grittier. We're getting out of the Comics Code Authority. I think that's where you discover like maybe more Batman the Fighter.
Yeah.
Like that, almost like a warrior Batman. I'm also thinking specifically of all of those issues where he takes his shirt off and fights Ra's al Ghul with a sword. But
I didn't know that you mean I'm the Batman.
Was that supposed to be Mickey Rourke?
No, it's Stallone, but...
Okay.
I'm the Batman. Yeah. That's right. Thanks, Alfred. Yeah, no problem, Bat.
No, keep going. I want to see this go.
Hey, Joker. You gotta do it to me. Yeah, that's right, Bruce. You gotta get him. That's Bruce, baby.
80s Batman, like 60s Batman, is weirdly cosmic because you have like Crisis on Infinite Earths and shit like that in the middle of it, right? Like there's a Batman with the League and things like that, like these sort of big stories. But that's also the start of like deconstruction Batman, right? He leaves the League, he starts the Outsiders, and then he gets his back broken in the 90s. And
I thought it was just like it was a guy, and then there was like a helmet next to him.
Yeah.
But if you put them together, it's yeah. Then it's Batman. It's deconstructing Batman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They're in different parts.
Don't make me make the meal. You make the meal and then bring it out to me.
I was just about to say that. I fucking hate that.
You fucking.
Deconstructed sandwich is just like a buffet.
I had a fucking deconstructed guacamole one time.
They just give you avocado and onion and shit?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I know. I was like, fuck you. That's an incomplete meal. It was literally like sliced up avocados and like a pile of like pico de gallo. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Sorry.
90s Batman was like obviously like the sort of darkest, 80s and 90s. In the 80s, you get like the Dark Knight Returns and all these things. It's where we start taking the idea that maybe these fun adventure Batman stories aren't so fun. Maybe this guy is sick.
Hey, I'm not a good guy.
And I think that's where what you get in those stories. And then through the 2000s and up to where we are now.
I fucking miss my parents so much.
It's really about...
You're just going to push past it.
I am. We're at like the 2-hour mark, man. If I don't push past
we're never going to finish. I'm committed. Now we're going to go forever.
It's really about the Bat family. Batman himself goes through highs and lows as different writers want to riff on different decades, right? You either want to riff on the adventure, or you want to riff on the cosmic like Scott Snyder does, or you want to riff on the fun or the silly or something like that, or the grim like the 80s, like the Frank Miller stuff. But the thing that is sort of the defining characteristic is just how big the Bat family is.
Yeah.
You have Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, you've got Robin, Bluebird,
Red
Spoiler, Orphan, The Signal, you've got Batwing, you've got Batwing, who is not in that family photo, by the way.
Oh, yeah, shit. Jeez.
Huntress. You can go as far as, like, Black Canary, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. Like, these people that even skirt the boundaries of heroism, are kind of part of that family. And I think that's really what, like, the modern era of Batman is about, is his legacy, right? Like, what has Batman done to the landscape of that world? Yeah. And I think that's what the comics really are about now.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. If you manage to get any actual information out of that, that's a fucking...
Because I'm the Batman, you fucking guys.
Jesus. Let's move on.
Yeah. Gonna go to fucking Baskin Robbins and get some ice cream. Yeah. Like my fucking Dunkin' Donuts.
What are you even saying? What's
Look,
happening?
I'm the fucking Batman.
What is the next question?
Going to Harvard Yard.
What is back to God, Harvard Yard?
Yeah. I'm fucking Batman.
Pack the Batmobile at Harvard Yard.
Hey, I'm fucking Batman.
Hey, say hi to my...
Say hi to your mother. Say hi to the
My
Joker.
mother's dead.
Say hi to the Joker for me.
Jesus.
I'm fucking Batman. Here's a question from Mike O'Brien.
All right. Michael O'Brien.
Michael O'Brien. I'm the Batman.
All right, what do we got?
Mike asks, did you read and have an opinion on My Own Worst Enemy, Scott Snyder's first All-Star Batman run with John Romita Jr.? A lot of folks hate it, but to me, it's great nonstop adventure of Batman at his most I'm Batmanist. Or I'm Batmanist.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what he's saying. With a solution for everything and a great spotlight of his rogues gallery, which you kind of talked about.
Yeah, I mean, so that All-Star Batman, that first arc is basically like a hit is put out on Batman and a bunch of villains come after him. KG Beast comes after him. He and Two-Face, he and Two-Face have to go on the run kind of thing. And
Soviet Gotham.
It is a very fun run. I am out there as like not a huge fan of John Romita Jr.'s artwork.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. I don't love it. I think it's inconsistent is like my biggest issue with it, that the way a face or a body looks in one panel doesn't translate a few panels later.
Yeah.
That is a problem for me, but I know other people really like it. So that's just a matter of opinion, I think. As far as the story goes, I know why people wouldn't like, or I can see why some people would not like it, because this story verges on ludicrous. Like at some point, someone shows up and be like, "Oh, I finally got you now. You don't have any more gadgets." That he activates like the bat, like just name a thing, and it just comes out. At one point, like these fucking knucks come out of his glove with bat-shaped things on the end of them.
God.
And it's labeled Bat Knuckles. Like it has its own lettering and stuff like that. And like, it's fucking stupid. But it's also like, that is very much Batman.
It's fun.
And that's a 60s Batman thing, like that. It's not just that he's a great inventor, but it's like he goes to the trouble of making everything shaped like a bat.
Like brand, like it's all about brand consistency.
Yeah, he's very well branded.
Yeah.
Like that is a funny real thing about Batman, like that's
I like the idea that some
mythos.
like criminal like gets beat the shit out of Batman and he's back home and he's just like has ice on his wounds and he like looks at his hand and he's just like, are you fucking kidding me? There's like a little tiny bat symbol like across his hand.
Use hashtag the Dark Knight.
Yeah. He's like, that motherfucker.
That's what Ben Affleck is branding into those criminals in the prison.
Hashtag Dark Knight.
Just a QR code to scan.
It tells you like where you can get like criminal representation, like legal representation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I won't say that All-Star Batman arc is the best thing ever. Like I don't think it cracks my top 10 at all. But it is fun in its own way. I don't dislike it. I agree that it's kind of like one of those like action-packed, sort of embraces some of the silly of Batman in a way that other stories don't necessarily.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next question comes from Roland Sabas. Roland.
Is it him or Andrew Delgado? That's the most interesting.
I
knew you didn't know. They're the same fucking one. I mean, they aren't the same, but it's the same voice.
Oh, it's just. Oh, I see what you're saying. They're all of them are the same to you.
Anyone different from me?
Yes. So when he's one of those, I hear what you're saying.
No, I literally mean anyone who isn't me. You're all the same.
Yeah. No, I see. Anybody with that sort of voice, I get it.
Literally,
I've already gone through this. It's Roland Sabas or Andrew Delgado.
Totally
it's very different.
I'm so
completely
sorry.
different.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, but I see. I mean, to you, they're all of those ones are the same. Roland Sabas asks, and then he changes his voice drastically. My question is this. In his therapy going out each night, I like that he calls it his therapy. In his therapy going out each night and risking his life to bring justice, I see. Is his therapy going out each night and risking his life to bring justice?
Right.
or has he come to terms with his fate and enjoys deep down going a little batty on the criminals? Thanks, #J'accuse.
Well, I mean, like we talked about in that Detective Comics 1000 sort of breakdown, it sort of depends on the writer. It depends on what they want to highlight. Yeah. There are some where he enjoys the adventure, and sometimes that's thanks to a Robin or thanks to a teammate or something like that, or even Catwoman or something, like the thrill of the chase, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There are elements to enjoy. And that's well trod in different stories and things like that. Even when we talked about Batman Noel, that's the whole thing with him and Catwoman as like the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah.
Is that like, remember when this used to be fun? You used to chase me rooftop to rooftop. It's kind of romantic, that sort of thing. And then there are other people that want to write a story like that one with Leslie Tompkins, where she's like, he's just like, you dare pull a gun on me, you little bitch. Just like, he's like, goes off the deep end.
I'm gonna slap you like the bitch you are.
I think depending on the writer, you can highlight either of those. I think you can safely say that he is attempting to use the Batman as therapy. Whether or not he's successful, it sort of depends on the story.
Yeah.
I would say overarching, it's unsuccessful, but Batman's success is seldom himself. It's the others, right? It's the Bat family, like we talked about. You know, like his greatest success is Dick Grayson. That someone can come out that good and happy and still choose that life.
Yeah.
And it's because of him, like in spite of him. You know, like that's his great. If Jason Todd's death is his greatest failure, quote unquote, then Dick Grayson's life is his greatest success. More than the fighting the criminals, more than the saving the day, saving the world. It's that someone that good can come out of like the shadow of someone so broken. And I think that's the ultimate hope of Batman, right? Is that maybe it's too late for him, but being Batman can do good for others. And I think that's the only thing, the only salvageable part of Batman, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am on the side that this is sort of his drug and that he's already given up on himself, but it's excusable because it's sort of the Dexter model where as long as it's towards bad guys, then people will at least not try to really stop him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the police, many of them turn a blind eye. Commissioner, you know.
#J'accuse.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that too. Yeah. I think it's...
Hey, Adam, who am I?
You're getting belligerent. You're at that level.
Yeah, it's true. Well, there's a lot of vodka in this, and it's done. I think that answers that question.
Jesus.
Next question comes from Will. Sorry, I shouldn't formalize his name. He didn't write it that way.
Maybe it's Billiam.
Will Innes. More like Otis.
Keep going.
I don't know. I got nothing. Will asks, favorite bat suit, nips or no nips?
Ooh. There have been so many bat suits through the eras.
Yeah.
In comics and in movies. Ooh, I want to take a quick second and think about, do you have one that springs to mind? Is there a bat suit where you're like, that's the one? You got that right. Like,
I mean, I think that the animated series bat suit.
Well, now... You mean the original animated series? Because in the original animated series, it was the yellow symbol with the bat in it, with the gray suit.
Yep.
And then when they did the New Adventures, it was just a black bat on the gray suit.
Yeah, it's the black bat. Yeah.
And sort of like the New 52 Batman kind of look.
Yeah. I'm into that.
And Batman Hush, I guess it's the same sort of suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's...
From a design standpoint, I like it.
Well, that is true. It's not like clashing... shapes and colors.
It works with the whole like dark thing, but it also like is aesthetically pleasing.
I don't dislike the blue kind of cape and cowl thing, but I think
it's like the 90s sort of or 80s version. Yeah.
I got to give a shout out though to the DC Rebirth era Batman suit, because it's got a black bat in the center, but it's a yellow outline around it. A gray suit, black cape, but the inside of the cape is purple. Like his original gloves from like his first appearance.
It's interesting.
And it's like a good look.
It doesn't work for like what he's trying to accomplish, but it looks.
It does because so much of the rest of it is black, and I think you get the idea too that it's not like shiny purple. It's not going to like reflect light, but in the light, it is purple, and I like it. It's a little bit of a splash of color. It's generally monotone, but you do have this sort of pop of color in there that I really really liked. The thing I didn't like in the New 52 one is they tried to. They try to cover all the realism bases.
Yeah.
The cape actually he could attach it or whatever to his gloves. It sort of looked like.
Yeah.
So that when he jumped, that was how it like stayed.
I liked more what they did
sort
in
of
the
bat
movies.
shapes
So
kind of thing.
I think that works a little bit better.
Like in the Nolan movies where it was like electrified to make it like a parasail kind of thing.
Fucking cool.
Yeah. Other suits that I like. I'm not generally a huge fan of the long ears. There are a few eras of long ear Batman, and I don't generally love them.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't like the stubby ear, like the Dark Knight Returns one. It's like there's a middle ground.
Yeah,
there's a reasonable ear length.
It's true
because the ears are useful. Like there's tech in the ears, right? Like they have a purpose. So
they're like antennas, aren't they?
Or speakers, or in that I think that Scott Snyder one. I think you can like shoot them.
Yes. Yes. Which is kind of stupid, but yeah.
Let's see. Of the movie ones, did you prefer the Batman Begins one or the one that he had in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight Rises, I think. Yeah, like when they finally perfect the suit. And
the sort of modular pieces. I really liked the one in Begins, actually. I thought that was a good one.
But it's funny.
I know the neck thing was still an issue, but I did like that suit. I don't think I like the yellow symbol one. Just generally, no. I know that's a huge era of Batman, but I think generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of the yellow symbol one.
No, I just don't think it works.
I think it's interesting to see, but like as an homage now and things like that. But it's not what I would pick. I like like you, that sort of black on gray in general, but I really do like that Rebirth suit with the purple in there. I think it's dope.
It's fucking cool. It really is.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool, eh?
Yeah.
It's a good look.
Anyways, now we're leaving Facebook, heading on over Twitter.
Twitter.
You got a drink.
I made it.
You did. You barely did, but you got there. Alto, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Unlike you, who's hammered.
Daddy, it doesn't take much to get him drunk.
Don't call yourself Daddy.
Daddy's had a long day. Daddy's had a long day.
Get to the questions. Get away from this guy.
Daddy, go to spank.
No.
You a bad girl.
No. Read the questions.
First question comes from my Apple Watch is saying it's low battery.
For fuck's sakes.
First question comes from our old friend EC.
Oh, hey.
Which stands for extra.
No. I don't trust any of the words that you know that start with a C.
Extra calculated.
Extra cool.
That's extra cool. So cool. Hey, I'm fucking cool over here.
Stop going back to that guy.
Hey, I'm fucking Batman. Pow pow. Oh.
Is this the finale of Dr. DC?
What a way to go.
I don't know.
Sounds about right. EC asks, which is your favorite animated adaptation of Batman and why?
Ooh, I like...
Ooh. Oh, baby.
I like the couple of animated movies that were sort of tied together but weren't really part of... It didn't become like a massive animated sort of universe thing, but it was like Crisis on Two Earths and Justice League Doom. Those two films, the one features the crime syndicate and like the evil versions of the Justice League, and the other one is where Batman's plans get contingency plans get stolen by Vandal Savage. Mm-hmm. Both of those movies, I really like that Batman. He's distant enough, but still like a team member. Like it's a good balance between the two things. In many ways, again, also sharing voice actors because it draws on all of the good groundwork of the Justice League animated series. They're not the same world, like between those movies and the series.
Yeah.
But because you're sharing voice actors and sort of those actors' sensibilities of what those characters are, I think there's a lot of you can build on the goodwill and good faith from that series in making those movies, and I think those movies really stand out for it. And then the other one I'd say is Under the Red Hood, Bruce Greenwood as Batman in that one. I really like that one.
Yeah, for sure. I think
What
that
about you?
The Justice League Batman, it's obviously taken from the animated series, but I think you get a little bit more humor with him.
Yeah.
There. So I really like that.
That's true. He's a little like snarky. He's got some quips.
Yeah, and so I think for me, like I enjoy that. I also kind of really loved the one that we got in Batman Ninja.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it about that one that you liked? Other than how insane that movie was.
Mostly how well he adapted to that insanity. But also Gotham by Gaslight.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. That one you get a bit more of like the Bruce Wayne charm in that one, which sort of fits that Victorian kind of.
Yeah,
setting.
I kind of love that. I think that one.
Yeah,
is fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And obviously, the Batman
animated,
versus Dracula, but
yeah, that animated series one is. You're right. He is kind of quippy. I remember there's one where the Batwing gets shot down and he ejects. And they're all fighting these like aliens or whatever. And he goes on the comm and he's like, I need air support because I can't fly at all. Like as he's falling, he's just like, he doesn't get like panicky, but he's just like, someone needs to get me. I can't fly.
it's good.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He does have a sense of humor. That's also the one that ends up like singing jazz.
See, it's a man of many Am I blue?
Ain't these tears in my eyes telling you? Are you trying to sing with me, but you don't know the song?
That's right. But I'm drunk enough to try.
You did surprisingly well.
Because I remember the song enough to go, Am I blue?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But
you'd be too.
Is this brown?
No.
Is it blue?
Jesus. We're trying to. This is why we can't have nice things.
That's really.
Hopefully that answered the question.
If not, I don't care. Next question comes from Brandon M. Flick.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing.
No drop. Sorry.
No drops. There's a drop for no drops, but not for him.
Is that worse?
Tell us. I mean, I won't care, but tell us. Let it go into the ether. Brandon asks, fairly specific question. One, I do not care. Next question.
Hey.
Okay. But I have to do it this way. Fairly specific question.
Just read the fucking question.
What is your favorite heel turn for a Batman villain? Basically, favorite time of a Batman villain kind of turned hero, or did a good thing. Recent examples, Joker and Batman versus the Batman Who Laughs in Metal, Clayface in Detective Comics. Yeah, bro.
Well, we can start about talking those two examples. So at the end of Dark Knight's Metal,
It's no fun if you don't acknowledge
at the beginning of that whole story, you find out that the Joker has just been like trapped in the Batcave. Batman's just like had him like in his personal prison kind of thing, which is super fucked up. But at the end of that, where Batman has to face the Batman Who Laughs, who's a dark multiverse version of Bruce Wayne Batman, who becomes the Joker. Mm-hmm. So he's got all of Batman's training and skills and brains, but the Joker's chaos and morality.
It's so fucked up that they made that. It's such a good idea.
And Batman's way to be like, I can't beat this.
Yeah,
I have to introduce my own chaotic element. And the Joker,
something that no armed man said to himself.
Yes. So the Joker, he and the Joker basically team up to fight the Batman Who Laughs. And the Joker, and we've learned this since in like issues of Justice League and stuff like that. The Joker does not like the Batman Who Laughs because he thinks he's an abomination. He's like a cruel twist of like he doesn't think he should exist.
Yeah.
So Batman and the Joker fighting on the same side. I mean, that's with the stakes of the cosmos, right? Like that's basically the only time you could reasonably do that. In the New 52, right at the start, they had like a fake out where Batman and the Joker were fighting everyone in Arkham, but then you find out that it's Dick Grayson who has been undercover as the Joker.
Yeah.
I think in general, the Clayface one, the other one is that he was part of Batman's team in Detective Comics. They were sort of rehabilitating him, but then there was this whole story where the longer he was Clayface, the more he would like lose himself and become the monster.
Yeah.
And actually that was a very, very sweet story. You root for Clayface in that one. I did like that. In general, I like it when it's Two-Face because he's got both, right? It's Harvey and Two-Face. So you can play that and go right back. He can be a villain again and when the next writer takes over, and it totally makes sense. Some of those other ones, when they start sort of reforming like Ivy has, and then someone makes them a villain again, then you're like, oh, but they were doing so well. But with Two-Face, you could just do that. He kind of works really well for how comics work.
Yeah.
Because there's just both in there. So I think I like it. I like Two-Face when that happened. I mean, a specific one. I mean, it happened relatively recently. He and Two-Face fight the Cobra Cult in Gotham in Detective Comics in the early 900s sort of issues, I think it is. That's pretty good. But I did like that Clayface arc. Yeah, I don't know that I have like a favorite heel turn other than that. Every once in a while you can get like, I did like when Penguin was the informant for Batman. Batman was like, I'll let you keep running your operation, but you're going to tell me fucking everything. And I liked that he was like, there's certain crimes I'll have to tolerate to get to the bigger fish. And he basically, the Penguin worked for him.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was a good one too. What about you? Do you have like a version of that?
I mean,
really
mine's kind of a cop out because it's technically not a Batman villain, but it's a villain that Batman's dealt with in the past. It's just Lex Luthor.
Okay, right.
But I think that like,
so you mean like the recent one where you joined the Justice League and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Sure,
I enjoy that. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, that one, he and Batman have like it starts with the fact that he finds out who Batman is, and then goes to Wayne Manor and confronts him, and then basically is like, I'm in the Justice League now, and Batman's like, fucking fine.
Yeah. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. It comes from our favorite spicy, sexy texter, which is Cosmic DM.
Cosmic DM.
Ooh. I don't know. I got nothing.
You're so drunk right now.
It's kind of nice. Richard on vodka. Hashtag Richard on vodka. Cosmic DM asks, why do you think Batman is the most popular DC character? Also, besides Bruce and Dick, who do you think would be best suited to take up the cowl?
Well, why don't you start this one? Why do you think it is that Batman is so popular? So popular, in fact, that he kind of eclipses Superman.
Well, for one, I think that obviously for both of these characters, I think time and being sort of ubiquitous within the DC realm makes it easy for him to become popular. Being around just so much, it's easy.
But there are other characters that are almost as old that aren't nearly as popular,
but aren't around as much.
Well, but Green Arrow, Aquaman, Shazam, like all of these characters have been around like nearly 80 years.
I think that the simplicity of Batman's story really helps. I think it's something tragic happens to you, which is relatable to everybody.
Sure.
And instead of letting it overtake you, you use that pain to create something out of it, which I think is something that people can relate.
Yeah.
People do it in a lot less destructive way.
Well, and the modern version is that you do let it overtake you, but you still become something. Or it forges you into something else anyway.
Or you make art. But I think also it's a very relatable story in the fact that that you can see yourself in Batman's shoes. You can see yourself as someone who's dealt with pain a long time ago, and then if you had the resources, and it also sort of pulls into sort of the sort of power fantasy of like, if I had all this money, I could. Like, I think everybody's gone like, if I had all this money, I'd teach these people a lesson.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean,
make them all pay.
I mean, power fantasy is obviously a big part of it. And yeah, I mean, the thing with Superman is like, you could never be that. But there's almost, I mean, technically that's true of Batman too, but there's almost an element of like, no, you just need to have the money and the desire to spend it that way. You almost could be, I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah.
But you could do it in that, like, I could never lift a building, but I could learn like martial arts and like base jump off of a skyscraper.
As someone who learned martial arts at a young age, I mean,
that's true. That was, yeah, that's true.
I think that also, like, I think that Green Arrow, had it come first, maybe would be more popular.
Yeah, possibly.
Right? I think it's just also a matter of like, it came first. And so set the precedent.
Some of it is the novelty thing, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the big thing that we have to say here is that, like, if it was Bob Kane's Batman, we wouldn't be having this discussion or this episode.
Yeah.
It's because of the things Bill Finger brought to that character, from the design to the idea of Alfred and the Batmobile, like the gadgets, to, you know, the origin with his like parents and stuff. Like, Bob Kane's Batman was just a guy dressed as a bat, blonde hair, fighting crime in a red suit. Like, that there's not a lot in there. Bill Finger was bringing these things that you were talking about, like the substance, the character, the tragedy, like these things that make him relatable and three-dimensional and interesting. And yeah, without that, I don't think he would have the impact that he does have, right?
Bill Finger? I barely know.
Jesus. Second part of that question, other than Bruce and Dick,
who do you think would be best suited to take up the cowl? Which, one of the lines I love from the 1000 was when he was just kept being like, I was Batman.
Oh, Dick, yeah.
Yeah. But I was Batman.
I did like that. And that is kind of like, that is a Dick thing to say. I do enjoy that.
It's awesome.
I would never want Damian to be Batman. I barely like Damian as Robin.
That's true.
Yeah, Tim as Batman. I mean, we've recently in the comics seen,
and not like who
would
would be fun, but who could actually do it.
Who could actually pull it off.
Yeah.
Tim could pull it off, but is, as was sort of explored in relatively recent Detective Comics arc, he's maybe too meticulous. He might have some of like the same problems Bruce has, where it's like, do you win at all cost? Like how do you become like the sort of fascist, like plan everything out just to win kind of thing?
Commissioner Gordon
Bats was like a fun experiment, but like I don't know that I dig that, because the other thing was like, it was like a GCPD sanctioned Batman, which like defeats the purpose of Batman.
Yeah, definitely. I have a couple good ideas. I think somebody who maybe has been always along the side could potentially do it.
No, too British.
I'm the Batman.
I'm trying to think of someone sort of beyond.
Hey, look at me.
I mean, Barbara Gordon would
That's
be...
kind of where I first go, but that's not Batman. I mean,
Well, but in the Earth 2 Society series, at the end of that, Helena Wayne becomes Batman.
Really?
She doesn't call herself Batwoman, right? She says, I'm going to honor the legacy of my father. I am Batman.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
So, I mean, you could do the same thing with Barbara. I think Barbara would be...
That's kind of where my head was going to. That's kind of how I got to
She's maybe the only one with her head screwed on right enough. Other than Dick.
Though, at the same... That doesn't really make you Batman at that point of view.
I mean, you can make that argument too. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm tempted to say Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The better Batman, I think, at that point.
Yes, definitely. But so was Dick.
For sure, yeah. I think Tim Drake is probably the only one who could make, like, who'd be the similar Batman.
Yeah, Jason Todd is too... No, that's bad for Batman.
Yeah. All right, next question comes from... Raspberries Reviews, the kind you find on a secondhand podcast. Wow, that sounded terrible. More than usual.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
It was shrill.
You were shrill.
Shrill last night. You were fucking shrill.
Jesus.
Just with the yakking and never shutting up.
Are you trying to get us to 3 hours? Is that what you're doing here?
I mean, I'm not trying to do that.
Jesus.
Raz asks, is there a kind of Batman story that you would like to that you would like that hasn't been told? If so, what are some of your ideas? Lastly, how would you sum up Batman's legacy? Well, those are two very different types of questions.
Yeah,
Raz?
I mean the legacy one, let's set aside for a sec. I mean, I won't say that it hasn't been done, but I think the kind of Batman story that I want is one that doesn't always include Batman. I think the thing I want is that Guild of Detection. Like we were talking about earlier, like where you can sort of pair them off or just solo stories, you just rotate through them, but there's all these people that share this sort of gift and passion for being detectives. And Batman is part of that. And yeah, it's just mysteries and stuff like, I mean, there are lots of mystery detective Batman stories. But I think I'd like to see ones where he has to work with other detectives more. I won't say it hasn't been done, but like if that was a book, I would read that book. I would buy every issue. Yeah, Guild of Detection. I'm so on board for that. You know, you get Batman and Hawkman in one, you get Detective Chimp and Elongated Man over here, and then you know they switch off Elongated Man and Martian Manhunter, and then like, oh, let's go like check in with Batman. Maybe his case informs our case, like something where it's like this big web of cosmic mysteries. I would love that. That story gave me just this like tiny little piece
and
of
now
like,
you just want it
that I never would have thought of on my own, and then I was like, oh, that's what I want. Fuck. That's why I'm excited for this Lois Lane book that's coming out, because the creators have said like she's not going to get powers, she's not going to be punching muggers. It's going to be her doing journalism. I was like, that's fucking great. Different type of story, you know, like something uncapey. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of where I would want that to go. What about you?
I mean, there's a few different stories that like have been done, but I'd love to see more of for sure. There's one where I would love to see sort of like more of the Flashpoint Batman.
Sure.
I'd love to see like a just straight up serial killer Batman. I think.
Well, I mean, maybe you should be reading the Batman Who Laughs, because they just introduced the Grim Knight, who's like a Punisher Batman.
I like the idea of like going full horror with Batman, and I think that's really interesting.
Sure, yeah.
I would love to see sort of on the opposite side of that, like a family Batman sort of thing where they all end up going to like one of those escape rooms. And they have to like,
sure, yeah.
I just like the idea of like them like being like these master detectives like in an escape room. I just think it's really funny.
Like they pay like the $150 and they go and like in 3 seconds they're out.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh well.
I just think that's really funny.
All right, let's go to Bennigan's.
Or them like pretending like they don't have the answer so they can spend more time and like them trying to teach the thing where it's like it's not all about like solving the crime. Sometimes it's just about having fun. Yes, I do like that idea too. I think that would be really fun. And then I would love to see something a little bit more interstellar.
Right. Like Batman's in space.
Yeah.
Not just even dealing with cosmic threats, but literally on another planet.
Like Batman on another planet being like trying to do all this Batman dumb shit, and then they're being like, no, like that's not how we do it. Like
you get a little bit of that in Snyder's run on Justice League, but he's still with the League. You're saying like a Batman adventure in space.
Yeah, like something happens for whatever reason, and he ends up getting put on some like random planet.
That'd be pretty cool. It's a direction that the Batman solo stories have not gone in a long time.
Yeah, I just think like switch it up, you know, and make it put him really out of his element, so then he doesn't even have the like general knowledge that he normally has. Yeah, and like how much can that intelligence take him? Like, can he not have any of his references and still be able to pull through?
Right. Yeah, I dig that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
As far as his legacy, I think like for me, like I said earlier, it's the family, right? It's the idea that
it's all about the family.
I mean, it is, right? You know, even if it's too late for him,
it's all about the family. The gobble.
On this, the day that I become a bat.
This, the day of my Robin's wedding.
On this, the day my parents were murdered. But you know, it's even if it's too late for him, it's that he has inspired like dozens of other superheroes, villains turned anti-heroic or heroic, teams, leaguers. Like he's made an impact and a difference, even if he's kind of lost himself in the process. I think that's Batman's legacy, right? Is it lives on in the people that are better than him.
I think his legacy is left in the villains that he's created.
I mean, a very fair, equal but opposite point. Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Raging G. Don't give a fuck. Raging G. I got him my little toy truck.
I really like that one where it's like something very silly at the end.
That's what
I really like that. Yeah.
Raging G, I'm an awesome guy. Raging G, I just made an apple pie.
Oh, what did Raging G ask?
Raging G asked, after so many iterations of the same character, do you think that this is the one the creators wanted? You think Batman lost something crucial after so many decades?
Well, I mean, Bob Kane just doesn't give a shit, or didn't give a shit as long as the checks rolled in.
Yeah, fuck. Seriously.
I mean, like Batman was a idea he had, but again, the things that we know as fundamental to Batman, basically none of them were Bob Kane's idea. It was all Bill Finger.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that it took for Bill to even get acknowledgement for that. Like they're only now saying like Bob Kane with Bill Finger as like the creator on things like Gotham or in the movies and stuff like that. It took so fucking long for that to happen. So when you're saying like, is this what the creators would have wanted? Bob Kane would just be like, I don't know, I'm going to draw him with ears. Like Bill Finger, though, I think, I mean, it obviously depends on who's writing him. I think Bill Finger would have approved of a fair amount of Batman's mythos, though, because writers are smart enough to go back to the touchstones he laid out.
Yeah.
The elements of tragedy, some of the elements of design, like having bat things.
Yeah.
The surreptitious help from like the butler or from other, those are all things that are Bill Finger ideas that have been expanded on or whatever, but they're also touchstones of the character. So even if he goes to space, or even if it's, dark multiverse, broken Batman, it's always about, the thing that saves him in Metal is his like positive relationship with Superman. Like there are always things in there that I think Bill Finger would look at and go, at its heart, yes, that's it. He's like, he might say like, I probably wouldn't have done this story, but like with like, it's a what? It's an anti-monitor tower, dark multiverse, who, World Forge, you know what I mean? Like he'd probably be like, what? But I think when you just strip away and like, what are we saying about the character? I actually do think he would largely like stuff that Scott Snyder has done. I think he would, I think he would like what happened with Dick Grayson and where Dick Grayson went as Nightwing. I think he'd approve of that too. Yeah. Bob Kane would be like, Am
I still getting residuals?
Yeah, pretty much,
All right. Well, he has a second part of this question, which is Batman and Catwoman.
Okay.
Batman and Wonder Woman. Or Batman and Talia.
So, Batman and Catwoman maybe have the longest history, and that's the one that you really like. They should get married. They got married on Earth too. Like that's the one. Batman and Talia have a child together, Damian. But I'm a Wonder Bat guy, and it's because of the cartoon. I don't know what it is. Like I don't even know that I think that they are right for each other, but I like it. There's something I like about the idea.
I think it's just those actors like performing against each other. Yeah,
but there's as part of Tom King's run on Batman, as they're leading up to the wedding, there's this arc where they find this guy from another dimension who's been fighting these hordes or whatever. And he's like, I just need a rest. Just go in there for a day and fight them for me. And then we'll swap back. And this is my thing. I fight forever, but like, just give me a day to see my family. And they go, great. And they go in there. But what he doesn't tell them is that time passes differently. So they're in there for like 40 years. Like Batman and Wonder Woman just fighting endless hordes of these sort of things. And in that time, you know, like it's sort of weird. And they almost like they sort of acknowledge they're like this is happening, right? Like blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't, you know, or they kiss and then he's like, no, I shouldn't. And then they come back. It's only been a day. And Catwoman's like, hey, how did it go? And he's like, well, and she goes, okay, let's not talk about it again, but thank you for telling me, sort of thing. But that moment there, I was like, I really like them together. I don't know that I like it better than Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, but like there's something about like someone as grim and horrible as Batman being able to even like love someone who embodies love the way Wonder Woman does. She's so like open and honest and things like that. Like it gives you hope for bats. And I think maybe that's what I like about it. It's like, Bruce, you could do this. Like she's not a criminal. She's not an assassin. You could do this and this could be good, but like it never ever ends up happening. But I think I'm a Wonder Bat guy.
Really?
What about you?
So for me, I think that it's got to be Talia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I pegged that as the least likely.
No, now here's my thing.
Okay.
Batman is so unbelievably broken. He can only be with someone who's as broken as them.
You think he'd drag Catwoman down?
I think that honestly, Catwoman and Wonder Woman are kind of two sides of the same coin.
Right.
I think that they're both very strong, independent women who are very confident and are fairly grounded considering what they've dealt with.
Sure.
I think Talia is the one who's broken and is constantly within the shadow of their family's name. Right. I think that she like I
mean, they certainly have similarities. Yeah.
Exactly, and I feel like it's the only one who can truly understand what Bruce is going through and has gone through.
I guess now, I'm trying to not make this a leading question. If they're both kind of in the same place, like what we're saying here, then what does the relationship give them?
I think it gives them
to you, like what is it about them where you're like, no, that actually works, as opposed to like they just self-destruct.
Well, because I think that they can be solace in each other's pain. I think they understand where each other are coming from,
just like the empathy.
Yeah, right. And so I think that they at the end of the day, like they can help each other because they have perspectives off the same thing, but have two different sides of it.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, like having that perspective is what you get. Like if you look at the people that like you've had the best relationships with, there's people who have had similar. Sort of have gone through similar things and have similar perspectives. I mean, that's what makes strong relationships, and close relationships are ones that you have similar perspectives.
Okay,
and life experience, right? I think that Catwoman and Wonder Woman are just two strong women who at the end of the day know too much of what they want in life, and Bruce is never going to be that. He doesn't really know what he wants. He just has a single path that he has to walk. I think both Catwoman and Wonder Woman have an end goal and have a thing that they're specifically trying to go for, and it's not this sort of endless slog that Bruce is going through, but Talia's going through the same thing.
Right. I mean, that's fair. That's decently, that's well reasoned.
Mm-hmm.
It's Wonder Batman.
I mean, I get it. In the animated series, in the Justice League, it was adorable. I liked it too, but it's unrealistic.
Wonder Woman.
Next question comes from Stump Chunkman.
Step into the stump! Stump Chunkman!
Who asks a very simple and straightforward question. Think Kevin Smith will finish up his Batman story? No.
Basically.
Do you want to give a little bit of backstory of Kevin Smith's Batman story?
Well, I mean, Kevin Smith wrote Batman for a little bit, including a story called Widening Gyre and things like that. And there was a bit where, like, a Green Arrow villain of his, Onomatopoeia, was sort of...
oh, yeah, that's his whole thing.
In disguise as, like, a goat person sort of thing. And he and... That's, I'm skipping a lot. That's the story where Batman basically, like, admits he peed himself a bit at one point, like...
I do remember that. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, and it's not the thing you should judge that story on, but like, it basically, do I think Kevin Smith will return to write more Batman? other than this thing like he did in Detective Comics 1000 or these sort of one-off things,
I don't think he has any interest.
I actually think career-wise he's sort of not doing that anymore anyway.
Yeah.
But do I think that they'll bring him back to specifically continue like that story? I would be very surprised, I think. Yeah.
Because I think they were just like, yeah, it's fine. That happened and it didn't finish or whatever. We're moving on.
I think that would very, very much surprise
the fans would have to come out in droves to be like, no, we need this story to finish.
Did he pee?
Yeah, did he pee? Hashtag DHP.
Hashtag DHP? Oh, Jesus.
Hashtag Kevin Smith. Hashtag DC. Hashtag DDP. At Kevin Smith. At DC Comics. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question then.
All right. Let's have it.
It comes from James Paulson, who asks, what is the most unique Batman in the multiverse? How has Gotham not figured out Bruce is Batman, given all the money needed to buy all the gadgets? So we already know.
Well, we've talked about it a bit because of that I know story. It's like maybe some people do know, and maybe they're deliberately keeping the secret. And also, I mean, in multiple occasions, villains have found out or have been able, or people have been able to deduce who he is.
Yeah, because you realize you're not going to find out and then stop him from being Batman, and he's just going to go back to being Bruce. If you find out, he's just going to be Batman 24/7.
It is not impossible to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's. Sorry, but we're going back. What is the most unique Batman on the multiverse?
Yeah. Is it the Batman Who Laughs?
Batman Who Laughs.
I mean, I guess that's kind of you.
That's dark multiverse, sure.
Yeah, but you would expect that to happen.
Most unique.
Aqua Batman.
Well, no, there actually isn't an Aqua Batman. The Earth that has like merged heroes, it's Bat Lantern.
Oh,
I think that's Earth 32.
Oh, okay.
It's actually
no like hook hand.
It's
Batman.
No, it's Aqua Flash on that Earth.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Maybe. Fuck, that's really hard. Actually, that's a tough question. Because the unique thing, I mean, they're all Batman, right? And the thing with the multiverse too is that you're deliberately being derivative. You're like, what is the Batman of this place? So, I mean, in a way, you can only be so unique because you're still trying to be a copy of a copy kind of thing. But maybe, I mean, because they were created technically separately and were never originally intended to be part of the same multiverse, you could make the argument that the Question is maybe the most unique Batman parallel, clearly inspired by Batman, you know? But because they were different comic book companies, like Charlton didn't know they were going to get bought by DC, didn't know that Charlton Comics was going to become Earth 4.
Yeah.
So maybe the Question... But see, Question is like the violence and the detective thing. But Blue Beetle on that Earth is like the tech and the adventurer. They're kind of like different. They're two separate elements of Batman. Maybe in that way, I would say those two from Earth 4 are like the unique ones because it's like you took Batman and you split them up. So you have like the grim detective vigilante and you have like the technological scientific adventurer. And Batman is both. So yeah, maybe that's my answer for that one.
What about Owlman?
Owlman from Earth 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of the flipped morality of that world where strength is it's kind of like the mirror universe in Star Trek, where strength is rewarded and compassion is considered a weakness sort of thing. And that world, Owlman actually isn't Bruce Wayne.
It's Thomas Wayne Jr.
It's Thomas Wayne Jr. It's Bruce Wayne's older brother who kills Bruce and the parents with Alfred's help and becomes Owlman, a member of the crime syndicate of that Earth.
It's not Bruce Wayne, but the Batmouse.
Batmouse?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean, is that Earth C minus?
Yeah.
Batmouse is up there.
Or Earth 10? Well,
Leatherwing, so that's the Nazi Batman. That's Earth X. That's where the Nazis win the war, where he's part of the new Reichsman.
Yeah.
Leatherwing. There's the Atomic Knight Batman from Earth 17.
Or Iron Batman.
That's
robot analog.
That's Earth 43 or 42.
44.
44. Yeah. Where they're like Metal Men and Justice Leaguers are sort of like merged together. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different ones in there, actually.
The Batman and Dracula is Earth 43.
That's the Red Rain universe. That's right. Yeah, the vampire universe.
It's a lot of fucking
I like the Batman in Red Sun, which is Earth 30, where he's like a Russian freedom fighter, like trying to like liberate the Soviet Union from Superman's regime. I like that one.
Yeah, that one's
his parents are killed by the regime. They were like politically outspoken and they're killed by the regime.
Kind of awesome.
And he becomes Batman that way. I dig that one.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. All right, let's move on.
Sure.
Next question. Well, we are leaving Twitter and we're heading on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from ExelH90.
All right,
ExelH90. So did he add that? Was that always him?
I think that was always in his Instagram. I think it's Twitter.
That's right. Okay, I see. Which H90 stand for?
Well, I think his last name starts with H.
Oh, he's 90 years old. Oh my God.
Yes.
That's got to be it.
You cracked it.
Yeah.
The world's greatest detective.
That's right. It's me. Axel asks, hey, Doc, let's hear your top 5 personal favorite Batman comics / graphic novels. Oh, that is tough.
Sorry. Top 5.
Top 5 comics / graphic.
Let's try and build one together because I think there'll be some overlap.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there, even though it's modern and insane. Dark Knight's Metal.
I still haven't read that. Do you have that as a trade yet?
Not as a trade. I just have all of the issues. Do you want it? Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. It goes from things as basic as just like the Batcave and Gotham all the way through the structure of the multiverse, the monitors, the dark multiverse is introduced. They introduced the World Forge. Hawkman is a big part of it. The Challengers of the Unknown, Black Hawk Island, Thanagar Prime, Martian Man. Like, it's the Source Wall. It's everywhere. It is batshit crazy, pun intended. But it is. I love it. It's such like it's a Snyder book, but very Morrison inspired. You travel the multiverse. You're on the Ultima Thule. You're going through like parallel Earths. You meet other Batmen. You meet the Dark Multiverse Batman. And it's a good character piece too about Bruce as this like gateway to evil, which is like a metaphor clearly. I would definitely throw that in a top 5. It blew my mind. That story's
I gotta
crazy.
check that out. I gotta really check it out. Obviously you got to throw the Killing Joke in there.
Yeah, and this came up when we talked about it with Heath Corson.
There's some issues with it, but
Killing Joke is a museum piece. It's important. It was iconic, and
there's issues with it, but it's very good.
It has an impact, like in the terms of the literature.
Yeah,
you can't deny how important it is.
Totally,
but to read it now, it's kind of like.
Yeah, there's problems. It's problematic.
It's iconic and important, and you can't take that away from it. But it's not great now.
Yeah,
But sure, Killing Joke definitely. Something else I would throw in there. You have to throw Dark Knight Returns in there. I think too, on some of the same grounds. But that gives you. That's maybe like one of the first and most iconic versions of that sort of like regret, grim, violent Batman. And that's maybe not the thing you want to celebrate in Batman, but it's again important and iconic, and it's part of the character now, whether you like it or not. That's in there. Anytime someone has Batman punch someone too hard, that's Frank Miller. That goes right back to Dark Knight Returns. So I think you have to throw that one in there. I know one that you would want to throw in there.
Oh,
Long Halloween,
of course.
Which we've talked about before on the show.
What about year one?
Year one's good. I wouldn't put it in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if I was just picking a story out of the comics as opposed to just graphic novels, I would take like Lonely Place of Dying, which is, or I always get them confused because they did a takeoff one that was Lonely Place of Living. But basically the one post death of Jason Todd where Batman starts going a little too violent. And Tim Drake eventually deduces who he is. He tries to convince Dick to become Robin again to save Batman from himself. When Dick won't do it, then Tim does it. But that one is that's a big iconic story. I love that one. I would pick that one in my top 5 for sure. That's from early 90s.
Yeah.
That one's in there.
What about Arkham Asylum?
Is great. I love it. I don't know that it cracks my top 5.
Really?
I would probably put something like Court of Owls. I mean, I know that's super modern, but like it's so fucking good. Court of Owls deserves a place in there.
Death
for me, at least. I mean, Death of the Family,
yeah.
Like the Snyder Capullo one,
yeah,
is great. Maybe it doesn't crack my top 5, but also, yeah, terrific story. One that's not specifically a Batman book, but like JLA Tower of Babel. That's the one where Batman's contingency plans are stolen by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
that gives you a lot of insight into who Batman is, right? That even his friends, he's got plans to take them out. Like, Tower of Babel is a really good Batman story.
I mean, The Dark Knight Returns is there's a reason why.
Yeah. I mean, I know we haven't ranked these definitively, like 1 through 5 or whatever, but like that one's probably number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to Mahuzathan, who asks favorite Batman outfit and gadget. If you could have one gadget, which would it be and why?
Ooh, if I could have one gadget, what would it be and why? That's fucking tough.
Yeah.
I guess if you're thinking practically, it's got to be the grapple gun.
I mean, that's kind of where my mind goes.
Because you can use it on people or on buildings or on things, or like it's probably got the most uses. It's got to be the grapple gun, I guess.
Does the Batwing count as a gadget?
Batcave?
Yeah.
Batcomputer. That's the gadget.
Yeah, exactly. I think they mean tool belt, but yes, I think Batwing is obviously what I want.
You know what I like in when gadgets get so powerful, you need to have something that makes them like difficult to use or something. And I think a big one that's important is like it's again pretty modern, but the Hellbat suit, which Batman can use to fight like kind of god tier. He can fight Darkseid in it, but it actually like. He could have a heart attack like at any moment. Like it's draining his life force to power the suit. So yeah. I like that idea of like the ticking clock or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think if I keep it simple, I'm going to go grapple gun because that's got a lot of uses and Batman uses it all the fucking time.
It's true. So best bat suit.
Oh, right. Best bat suit. Well, I think I've already said I really like the DC Rebirth one.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think that Jim Lee like Hush one, the one that you said to describe, the black and gray. That one's like it's so neutral and so iconic that like that's basically the default to me. But I really like that Rebirth one in terms of something like doing something different.
What about the Power Ring batsuit?
Oh, like where it's like, yeah, I kind of like the Sinestro Corps Batman one that you see in like Forever Evil. Like that's kind of a cool looking suit. I dig that one.
But obviously, I think if outside of that, the Bruce Timm and like Paul Dini one is pretty dope.
Which again, it's that black on gray, right?
Yeah.
It's that idea of just like the bat not in the circle kind of thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. Next question comes from the Nerd Fonz. Who asks, what is your favorite team up from Batman and the Brave, or Batman the Brave and the Bold, and why? Specifically, the run that started with issue 64 and went to issue 200, only the Batman issues. So I don't actually know a lot about the Brave and the Bold.
Brave and the Bold was a team-up series, basically. So each issue...
I know that they made a TV series, but...
Yeah, and the TV series is Batman teaming up with people, basically. Each episode or each issue, in the case of the book, was like, so-and-so and so-and-so will team up and work on a thing. And for a long time, it was Batman and so-and-so. That run that is described there. And they were just sort of like one-shot or maybe two-parter stories where it was basically a chance to like rotate through characters in the DC universe.
Totally.
DC Comics Presents was like that, but that was a Superman team-up book.
Yeah.
In terms of, a favorite one, I mean, partly it's because there's a character that I very much like that I don't necessarily get to see a lot of, and it's Metamorpho. And it's number 68, I think, is where they team up. Metamorpho was only created like maybe only just over 10 issues earlier than that in the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
So Metamorpho is like a relatively new character at that point. He's the Element Man. He can turn himself into transmute himself into the different elements that make up like a person.
Yeah, it's fucking rad. I love that cost. Yeah, I love that ability.
And eventually Metamorpho becomes part of Batman's team, the Outsiders. Mm-hmm. But I like that Batman Metamorpho story because he's a guy with sort of crazy powers teamed up with Batman. And even though they didn't know that it was happening at the time, it's like laying foundation for like, these characters will work together more. They're not like an iconic duo, right? It's not like Batman and Flash or Batman and Green Lantern or Batman and Superman or something. But I don't know. That's, I guess, maybe mostly because I like Metamorpho. As opposed to like the story itself being like, oh my God, amazing. But like,
he's just Metamorpho's cool.
I love Metamorpho. Yeah. So that's kind of hard for me not to pick that.
Yeah, I get that.
What about you?
I mean, I don't know.
Are you familiar with that?
No, I really don't. And it's a show that I kind of like, I really didn't like the Joker on that, so I stopped.
Yeah. I mean, they go through all sorts of characters. There are magic characters. They team up with the Metal Men, or he teams up with Etrigan. There's one that I think features the whole House of Mystery.
And I didn't know that was the framework for that show, so it kind of makes me more interested in it.
That show is a ton of fun. And actually, if we're talking about my favorite team up on that show, it's B'wana Beast. And they make B'wana Beast like a fucking important character. And you like give a shit about that character in that show. I would... If we extrapolate and go to the cartoon, it's definitely Batman and B'wana Beast.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's move on then to the next question, which comes from our favorite sexy resident and co-host, the real Josh Gill.
Gill.
Sexy, Gill. Who asks, disregarding Battle for the Cowl and Dick's run as Batman, who stood in best for Bruce, who has worn the cowl best?
Terry.
Really? That was easy.
It's Batman Beyond, man.
Yeah.
It's Terry McGinnis, who's spent longer as Batman other than Bruce and Dick.
Really?
It's Terry. It's got to be Terry.
I mean, does that count as Batman Beyond?
He's Batman
Beyond.
Yeah, he doesn't call himself Batman Beyond. He just calls himself Batman. The book is Batman Beyond.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't know. To me, that makes perfect sense.
It does.
No one in pop culture has been Batman longer other than Bruce and Dick.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Terry.
It's an easy answer, but yes. All right, let's
I play smart, not hard.
That's what I've heard. Thumb it in. Leave an Instagram, head on over to email.
Chicken the email. Jesus.
And our one and only email today is from Jesse PCP.
Jesse.
Oh, Jesse, I'm high on PCP. Who asks, what about the bats makes him Batman? Is it his skills as a fighter, skills as a tactician, detective skills, or is it more emotional? Who do you think gave the most pure interpretation of him? What are your favorite moments or silly stories that were retconned? A lot of questions in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to try and boil it down, like, you know, you like pick one word, what is Batman? I think the word I would pick is determination. Batman has lots of skills and lots of abilities and lots of knowledge. And
but you could
like
give those to everybody and it wouldn't make them Batman. Like the best detective who's not Batman.
He makes himself all of those things because he wants to and because he can't live with himself if he doesn't. It's the determination. That's the only reason he has all of those things. To me, that's the defining characteristic, I guess.
His superpower is super determination.
Yeah, I mean, his superpower, I mean, the other way of saying that is willpower.
Yeah.
You know, which is why there are plenty of alternate universe or Elseworld versions where he's a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You know, like that is the flip side of it. He's got too much of the darkness in him, I think, to be a good space cop. But, but it's, the determination, the willpower, that to me is Batman's ultimate defining trait.
So, who do you think gave the most pure interpretation of him?
Oh,
could be. I mean, it's not just limited to.
Again, there's 80 years of Batman. It's hard to say that one person did the version because there are lots of different takes. But that being said, Neil Adams, that sort of 70s run, 70s into the 80s of Batman, where they introduced Ra's al Ghul and things like that, like. That's a pretty iconic Batman. He's more serious than like the silly, goofy 60s. He's not as broken as the Frank Miller, 80s. That's maybe the sweet spot for Batman. Yeah. He's serious, like that's not a Batman to fuck with.
So serious.
But he's not off the deep end. And I think that's the one. Neil Adams really like balance those things very, very well. Other people have done it too, but because Neil Adams kind of did it first, I think that's the one you go with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, but
I should say like Neil Adams and I think it's Denny O'Neil.
Yeah,
they work together. I'm catching myself doing the thing where I'm only crediting writers because that's not fair.
Well, they put him first. And do you have any? I mean, we've talked kind of about some of the silly moments, like any of the moments of retconned, like the Batman with guns and that kind of thing. But
I mean, yeah, the retcon thing is funny. It's not Batman, but the silliest Batman adjacent moment is the retcon punch. Like where Superboy Prime punches reality so hard that Jason Todd comes back to life. That's so silly.
Yeah.
And they treat it so seriously. It's so silly. I mean, that's way the fuck up there. I mean, there's lots of silly Batmans. Batmite. I mean, the fifth dimensional imp, right? He's like Mr. Mxyzptlk. He's the same sort of race. But he's obsessed with Batman. And so he creates mischief because he just wants to see Batman be a hero. He's like, oh, like hero villains to fight. Like, oh, do it. I love you. So Batmite is an extremely silly character. And there's been different interpretations of Batmite too. Grant Morrison had a very particular one. And yeah. I don't know that I want that retconned out though. Actually, Batmite is about to, I think, make an appearance in the Justice League book. Because we're in the middle of a Mxyzptlk arc right now, and we've seen the Batmite symbol, so I think he's going to show up too.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from email and head on over to Reddit, where everything's nice.
No one's ever mean.
That's right. Which comes from our other doctor. It's Dr. Hoot.
Hoot.
Hoot, hoot.
Hoot.
Hooty hoo.
Hoot.
Hoot.
Hoot?
Hoot? That's nice. Who asks, I love this. Ooh, I like this question. Oh, yeah. If you got the chance to write the permanent death of Batman, how would you do it?
Do you have something for that?
I mean, I have something brewing in me right now, I feel like.
Oh my God, it's beating.
Yeah. All right, this is gonna... all right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this happens... at this point, all the Robins have grown up and left. Sure. Batman's lived a long life and he's fought so hard. And at this point, he's being Batman even though he shouldn't be because everyone's got it handled. But he just can't stop. He's in a fight with Scarecrow.
Okay.
and he ends up getting the toxins from Scarecrow, and he's just at this point he's just already beaten down. His joints hurt, his body is just destroyed from being Batman, but he's still fighting through it. He ends up starting to hallucinate. And not realizing that he's put himself in a position where he's like hanging off of like a large building,
Right.
And he starts hallucinating his family and his parents, and his and Martha and Thomas Wayne are just saying, like, "You've done it. You've given the world the heroes that they need. You didn't do it in a way that we would have wanted you to, but you provided the world with the heroes that the world actually deserves.
Right.
You need to just let go, because it's time for you to come home."
And he does.
And he just lets go.
It's like an alternate version of that animated series episode where he's like hanging off the Zeppelin. But in that episode, he does the "I am the knight, I am Batman." And he like gets up and beats the Scarecrow.
This he realizes,
and this is like the opposite. Yeah.
This is there's nothing left to give, and he finally gets to come home to his family.
Wow. So the Scarecrow gets the final the final one. There are stories that have toyed with the idea I'm going to propose, but
because the Scarecrow
maybe
doesn't matter, and that's the point.
Sure, right. He does it on his own, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's nothing to do with that. It's just like he does it because he wants to, because he feel like he's finished. He's finally complete. And I think that's the only way that he can really go, is if he feels like there's nothing left for him to do.
Right.
Because of the ultimate sort of like he's so committed to what he's doing. The only way that he can
and it's not a moment of fear. It's not like he's hallucinating a fear and dies because of it. He's actually hallucinating like a dream.
Yeah.
He's come through the other side. He's transcended the fear. Yeah. The thing I'm going to propose is maybe too sad.
But sadder than what I just said. All right.
But let's flip.
I mean, it's kind of there's happiness with
kind of the concept that was like the pilot for Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Doesn't even necessarily have to be old, but a Batman who's past his prime, or just statistically, Batman can't
live forever.
Well, but not even just that. He can't be on top of every fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think in my Batman story, where I write the permanent death, I don't think it's a supervillain that takes him out.
Oh, this is good.
I think he just makes a mistake and a mugger gets a good shot in.
The way that his parents were taken out, the way that he was brought into this world.
And it's like a random crime kills the way that Batman. It's like not, and it shocks the villains too, and the villains are like that. I mean, there are stories that have
I was gonna say, I'm like,
idea,
didn't they? Yeah.
But he always comes back, or it's faked, or whatever the fuck.
But this is the one.
But this would actually be it.
It makes sense because, I mean, he was brought in through potentially like a random mugging. It would be only like makes sense that the one thing that he's been trying to fight against that he never actually tackled,
and
which
part
is
of
just
the
random
idea,
crime.
I mean, I don't think I'm a good enough writer to actually do it, but it's about the idea that like he is still only human. He was totally prepared, just the way he always is, but he's still only human.
Yeah.
He makes a mistake or he trips up or whatever, and he, gets shot or stabbed or whatever happens, but it's just like, it's random act of crime. And then it's the villains dealing with that. It's the heroes dealing with that. But yeah, Batman basically goes out the way he came in. I think that's what I would do for Bruce.
I like
as
that.
Batman.
That's really good. All right, well, let's do the last question. This is the fucking stupidest one. From Quebec Addy, who asks, if you could put a rhinoceros horn anywhere on Batman's suit, where would it be the most utilitarian?
I mean, groin, right?
I mean, I feel like it's actually not an outward. See, I mean, it doesn't specifically say. It's an inward, and it comes from the back. Keeps him constantly clenched and ready to fight.
You think it's like inside him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said inside him, and I made it a cock.
Yeah, because we're 12.
Yeah. I mean, I think my idea is only a hop, skip, and a jump from those cock pieces in the movies, in the Joel Schumacher movies.
I mean, you've seen the nipples. What you haven't seen is the bulge.
The rhino horn. Well, he did say most utilitarian, though. I don't know that inside himself is utilitarian.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I guess most utilitarian would be like, I don't know, like
his fucking head,
on his fist, but that's boring. Make it his penis.
Yeah. Depends what his end goal is. I think that's really what's the ends.
Yeah, or just elbow.
Well, I think
he just throws a wicked bow.
I mean, at the end of the day, all he's really trying to do is fuck himself. So, just saying.
Deep. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even mean to do that. I didn't even mean to do it.
Oh, that's what he said. Now we are finished with the questions. I can't. Oh my god! When you find out what time it is, but there's still more left.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Because you know what time of the week it is.
If we're tired, people listening must be so sick of us.
I mean, what
I'm
I
so
do
sorry. Next week will be
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Such a short one.
When I listen to episodes like this, I generally listen to them in huge chunks, so it's fine for me. But anybody who's trying to do this in one go, I apologize.
Just do me a favor, download it.
Just do me a favor, don't tell me on Twitter. Do you have a dial doc?
Yes.
Good, because Dial Doc is a segment every week that we do based on the Dial H for Hero comics from the 80s.
And earlier.
Well, and they're doing them now again.
Yeah.
But basically the idea is that somebody, a random person who's not a superhero, goes to a random, a thing that doesn't really exist anymore, but outdoor telephones.
He has the H dial.
Yes, and he dials a hero into it and gets turned into a random hero for roughly like 24 hours.
Or
sometimes
like
it's less.
hour.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really. They don't really ever specify how long it is.
A time period. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So mine is called. Do
you have one?
Mine is called Bat Boy, but he's not like bat like the animal themed. He just has a ton of like different clubs. Like some are baseball bats, some are like wiffle bats. So it's like those like British police, like oi 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 oi, what's going on there?
Oh
like,
yeah, I know some of the people like that.
Billy clubs or whatever. But like he has all of those things as like he has two arms, but they all like come off like branches almost. So he's got like 20 like random kind of club things that swing off of his arms. That's Bat Boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whew, saved it. What about you?
Mine is, his name is Alpha Death.
Oh, Alpha Death. Okay.
Yeah.
What does Alpha Death do?
Alpha Death has the ability to summon. It's kind of like Green Lantern, but he can summon any weapon.
Right.
But he has to do it in alphabetical order. And once he's done with the A's, he has to go to the B's and then the C's.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be like arsenic.
Yeah. And
Bludgeon.
just like fucking bat. I don't know.
Chainsaw.
Yeah. And he
Dagger.
And he is actually a villain.
Of course.
And kills based on those first names as well. So
interesting.
So he's a serial killer who
So
goes,
he's killing people whose names have the same letter as the weapon he's on.
Yeah.
I like it.
Goes,
Alpha Death.
And he goes, Alvin, A for axe. Because he's not a great writer.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. We would love to hear what your characters are that you can come up with residents. We love to get your dial docs. All you have to do is send them using the hashtag dial docs to our various social media platforms. Come up with their hero or villain that you want, or you can just nerd out with us online. Just talk about random DC stuff that's going on, or things that you're reading, or pieces of news, or whatever. All you have to do is reach out to us on Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter,
at Dr. DC.
Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, you're getting tired. Or hang out on our fancy subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
Lots of fun conversations going on over there. And also, not only can you talk to us, but you can also read our DC-specific articles or buy some of our merch on our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
And of course, if you want more of our ridiculous content, sometimes DC-specific, sometimes it's Marvel, sometimes it's somewhere in between, sometimes it's just random nerdy stuff that we like. All you have to do is subscribe to our Patreon, which is
patreon.com/DrDC. It's only $5 a month.
That's right. And we just recently did a episode, which was our official ranking of Marvel movies.
We definitely agreed on things.
Yes, so much. No disagreements, no flipping tables. 50-something movies.
Identical lists.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was no confusion of how many movies there were. But we also had cool guests like Matthew Burnside, where we talked about video games about superheroes and comic books. So lots of really fun stuff that you can go check out on there. So make sure to subscribe. And if you're just subscribing to that, may as well subscribe to our podcast and give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Lots of fun things you can do. We haven't had a 5-star review in a little while. We'd love to see some of those because we're trying to head to 30. Once we get to 30, we're going to do a live video streamed episode. See our pretty faces as I make inappropriate comments. You can see the uncomfortable faces on the doctor's face.
You can finally see that I'm not complicit.
Yeah. You could see all the stuff that we actually normally cut out.
Yeah.
We can't cut out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like this idea.
Oh yeah. And see, you want to make the doctor even more upset and uncomfortable? Make sure that you give us reviews. It's the only way to make that happen. I know we've got some new residents. I know we got some new listeners. So let's see those reviews come in.
And don't forget, you can also give us a call on the doc phone. The doc phone is open. It's 208-917-3238.
It's 208-917-DCEU. That is it. And more aptly than any other episode, we will be back this Friday.
Yep. For Patreon.
For Patreon, if you're on there. If not, you have to wait till next Wednesday. That's right. Oh, God, a week. Who wants to do that? You should subscribe to the Patreon. And
give us money.
Buy our merch.
Help Richard get a third iPad.
Oh, yeah. No, someone will just give one to me. So, of course, same doc time, same doc channel. A ciao ciao.
Adios.
Hey, fucking ciao ciao, you sons of bitches.
Superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
A ciao choo, chickadee chow.
Is that like 3.5
Chickadee
hours?
chow, the chow chow chicken. Chop a drumstick and your brain stops ticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on. Della Maison. I hope the smoking man's on this one.
Like I was sitting for I'm getting frantic.
I said a damn chick.
Let's be discovered to satisfy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.